Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Passing pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
All right, we have hit the end of the week on the
Yay.
Braylon Edwards Show. Welcome,
That is
everybody.
good.
Glad you're with us on Woodward Sports. He is the man, Braylon Edwards. We've got Kool-Aid. We've got KG. Ricky's got the day off. We'll miss him for now, but in the meantime, we're going to have an absolute blast here from 2 to 4. I got my golf gear on, just like you had your golf gear on the other day.
I see. How'd you play? What's going on,
Horrible.
everybody in the building?
Horribly. I was horrible.
I feel like if
horrible.
everyone was honest, that would always be the answer. But I feel like people take elements of the round,
Yeah.
and then they only focus on that and say, well, you know what? I played well. You know, I had some really good shots around. What about the other 13 holes? So if everybody was honest, that would be probably what you get.
Hey,
I do it.
Does
Shoot,
everybody in this booth, does everybody play euchre? I mean, it's a Michigan game. So you
I
gotta
learned
play
up in when I was
Not a big euchre player.
But you know how to play it.
It has elements of tongue, elements
Yeah.
of poker.
Oh, I know how to
elements
play
of
tongue.
spades.
I know how to play
Okay.
tongue.
Here's my belief. Golf and euchre are almost the same. After every hand of euchre, you talk about it. You know, I was going to go spades, but I chose not to. I only had the, you know what I'm saying? Golf is the same thing. You know what? I mean, I was playing it right to left. It stayed straight. What the hell happened?
You're right.
After every shot.
100%. For those of us that don't play euchre on our side, bid whist is like that. Legitimately, because you change the trump every round. You change the trump. You go high or low, or you can even go no trump after every round. Maybe I should have went high. Maybe I should have went low. Maybe I shouldn't have said I had it.
Maybe I should stop second guessing myself.
Maybe I should stop playing. Maybe I should stop playing and enjoy some
finest
barbecue. Because my partner over here cussing me out. You know, I had a couple outside. This is Saturday. Now I can't figure it out. So
That's how I felt on the golf course. Maybe I should stop playing.
Yeah.
You know, because this is who I am. When am I going to accept who I am?
golf, I feel like each year your best club changes. I think that's what golf. I mean, unless you're just a dynamo with the driver, that never changes. But for me, each year, actually, even each phase of the golf season, my club changes. What's your best club in the bag currently?
I would say I'm most comfortable with my 7-iron.
Okay, that's a fair.
It's a safe one, isn't it?
That's a cliche one, but yes.
Yeah.
5-iron for me.
Okay.
Because my driver's been
Erratic.
It's to say the least. It's been erratic. So the 5-iron gives me, I can go. I'm 245 with a 5-iron.
Are you really?
Yeah, and my irons go straighter than my drive. So my 5-iron has been my best friend this golf season.
245 with a 5-iron. Huh?
I got to get a hold of it.
That's
but
pretty
yeah.
damn good.
Yeah, not bad.
Don't. That's why I like to be in the fringe a little bit, just off the green.
Yeah.
Yeah, you 5-iron, 245. On average, I'm probably about
That's a beauty.
202, 205.
Shep, how's your short game?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, my other parts of the game suck.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. It's brutal.
Hey, you know, with you guys talking about golf right now, everybody in the chat is wondering if you have seen it or if you're going to check out Happy Gilmore 2 was just dropped. Dr. Clapping Cheeks wanted you guys to know that Happy Gilmore 2 just dropped. And it's actually pretty good, he says.
I heard Eminem is in it. So.
Oh, he says it's pretty good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Do you
might
agree
check
with
it out
Dr.
then.
Clapping Cheeks.
He's a learned doctor.
I have a hard time with some of the sequels in
they
movies.
ring
I just don't. Sometimes I'm thinking, I don't know if you're as good as the first one. How can you be as good as the first one?
It's not going to be. They waited way too long to do it. It's never going to be as good as
It
the
does
first
feel like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like it's way too long.
Now, there's more people. Steve-O Baby in the chat. He addressed this to you. He said, Braylon, Netflix just released Happy Gilmore 2.
All right, look, I trust the chat. I rock with you guys. I will watch it for you, Steve-O Baby. Always shows love. So look, I'll check it out. I'll watch it, but I know I'm gonna be watching some BS. Whenever they bring back movies, the only movie that was brought back after a complete hiatus of 10, 15 years or more was Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick came out.
Hey,
It's the best
pretty-
movie I've seen probably in the last 10, 15 years.
And
it
it
holds
was
up.
good. You're right.
Outside
it was
of
good.
that,
Yeah.
when they start doing these things, here comes America. Here's Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah.
Just like Here Comes Coming to America 2.
Yeah.
Just like Here Comes. Leave the classics alone. House Party. Why did you even do that?
Yeah.
Why did you even bring these two to play a iconic cult classic?
White
I
man
am
can't
not
jump.
a fan of being lazy, trying to make the bag off of something that exists already. I even take it even to a more cult classic. How do you do How High 2 and not give Red Man and Method Man a call?
That's criminal.
So I'm just not a fan, but when you watch a movie that's like that, you got to go back and support just to see what it is. So I will watch it because I have a Netflix subscription. So we check that out.
Good stuff.
Check that out.
Could it be any worse than the way the Tigers have played? Probably not.
Yeah, ain't nothing worse than that right now.
It's you know what it's become, and it's really too bad. It's become a hard watch.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I
You're
mean,
not lying.
when you watched Reese Olson give up back-to-back jacks, including the 3-run bomb to Ernie Clement, it felt like he had lost all confidence. I try not to read too much into body language. I love when friends of mine and I talk about that. Look, did you see the body language? Like, hold on a second. Do you know the guy? What do you mean by body language? It's not like he's bowing up to a guy and said, hey, you want to go?
Right.
Then you can tell.
It's
What's
visible
the
sometimes.
Sometimes it is visible. I thought it was visible last night.
Yeah, I think you're starting to see the frustrations. I think you're starting to see the seriousness mount up, the concerns. I think they're becoming more and more. They just don't look like the same team they were. Now, look, they are still primed and poised to make a run, win the division, all those things. But each day we come to these microphones and we're having conversations about the Tigers. It just looks a little bit less than they had played the week before, the game before. I mean, you're talking about 11-4 yesterday, 6-1 to the Pirates of all people the game before that, and then 3-0. Why do you have a donut? Is what I'm trying to figure out. And even so, it's one of those things where it looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, they lost 10 of 11. They've lost 19 of their last 31. My question would be the 2 months, June and July were, or I should say May and June were fantastic.
Yep.
Okay. July's been horrible. April, it's not a deep enough test for us in April.
Yeah.
They only played 4 games. Okay.
They've had an easy season to this point.
What do you mean?
They've pretty much been series winners of a lot of series.
Yeah, they won
coming
22
forward.
series.
That's why I'm saying they haven't faced much adversity until this month.
Yeah, okay. The losing, if that's what you're referring to, I would agree with that. Adversity, I think there's plenty of times they faced adversity.
Yeah.
They faced adversity in a game where they've had to stage a comeback.
True.
And they've done that. But who are they? Are they the team we saw in May and June, or are they the team we're seeing right now in July? And if not, I want to know why.
It's the $1 million question.
Right. That's what everybody wants to know, right?
Yeah.
Who are they? When do you identify who a team is? Any team. I don't care what sport we're at.
Do you subscribe to the theory of momentum carrying over from one season to another? Because since last trade deadline, they've been on fire, man, until now.
Yeah, and you know what? And that all right, so here's the fair. You brought up adversity and you brought up win, and you said they've been on fire since last year until now. Fine. This is the first adversity that they faced.
Yeah.
Since they started that run last year, what it was like, it's no way in hell. It was 0.2% chance that they could make the playoff. Since they did that, made that, won that round, lost, come back, had been on fire this whole season, they faced no adversity. I know what a team really is, to answer your question, Shep. When you face that adversity that you talked about and you come out the other side, this is an adverse moment for the Detroit Tigers. Pitching isn't good. Hitting isn't good. The skipper can't seem to reach his players. The players that they brought up, the players that they're counting on, players that made the All-Star game are not playing well.
Yeah.
How do they get out of this? How fast do they get out of this? If they can't get out of this, and we talked about the 20 games that they'll play, if they can't get out of this, and it's more of this and it's 500 ball, ladies and gentlemen, that's who you become when you can't get out of adversity.
It's also hard to calm a fan base down in a situation like
They're
that.
fishing
By the way, I misspoke. It was April and May where they were really good.
June was just okay.
They had a winning month. It was okay.
Yeah.
And the end of June was really bad.
Yeah.
So it was April and May where they were outstanding, where they were 18-9 and 19-9. And that's when everybody was the kumbaya moment. We were all standing around the campfire
How do you
holding
not?
hands and saying,
All
you know
of
what,
us are
I love
guilty.
this team.
June, you saw the cracks. July, those cracks have opened.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, they are 7-12 in July, and they are getting run on. They've given up 105 runs and scored 71.
Yeah.
So therein lies part of the issue. I think what many people are concerned about, and I think rightfully so, is that no aspect of the game is going well. No. You thought you could rely on a bullpen a year ago. You can't this year. You thought your starters were going to save you earlier in the season. They haven't been able to save you now. You thought your offense was clicking earlier this season. It was, but it no longer is. You had power earlier in the season. You no longer feel like you have it.
Here's the question. Biggest thing with the Tigers last year, A.J. Hinch's ability, A.J. mixed in with Chris Fetter, were able to dial up these programs where they were just ahead of the curve in terms of which pitcher needs to go and what inning against what batter, and it was a pitching chaos thing, and it worked well.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, man, this is something new. Maybe baseball will go this way. Started early a little bit this year, working for us. Now it seems like the league is caught on. Now it seems like the hitters from the other league have maybe caught on. Is that a thing, you think?
I don't, but
Okay.
I understand why people would think that. Absolutely. The moves he was making earlier this year seem to be all paying off.
Yeah.
Now, you walk a guy, and here comes Ernie Clement, and he goes yard with a 3-run bomb, where earlier this year it doesn't feel like that would have happened. Personally, I blame the player more than I blame the manager.
Of course.
And I blame the player because, look, it could have been the right pitch. I mean, he and Dylan Dingler would know that better than I would. The scouting report on Ernie Clement and all that other stuff, he got too much of the plate. Simple as that. He got way too much of the plate. He's got to spike that. He's got to find a different place to find that, horizontally or vertically, whatever he wants to use. It was a bad pitch, and Ernie Clement drilled it. Good for him. He made them pay. I don't think it's as much about that. You can question whether or not you should have walked the guy. There's a guy on third base. You got 2 out, or was there 1 out? Of course you're going to walk the guy.
Yeah.
It's a righty on righty instead of a righty on lefty. The guy you're walking has more power, and you set up a double play or a force at any play because there were 2 outs. If there's a ball deep in the hole, you can get that out at second, so on and so forth. We all understand that, right? It's the right mindset.
Yeah.
If he doesn't pitch to him and that dude hits one down the right field line, you are pissed because you should have kept you had a base open, you should have just left it.
Right.
Pitcher's got to make the pitch.
Bad execution.
Yeah, bad execution.
It's a long season. You said that. This is the part where I'll push back a little bit to that. Baseball is not like football. Baseball is not like a sport where in football you play a game, you got 6 days to figure it out. You got 6 days to get to the bottom of, look, what happened with this? What happened with the protection? What was going on with the center quarterback exchange, which we definitely will get into today, talking about the Detroit Lions, because that's something that is ever changing right now. But was it the center quarterback exchange? You know, is it the wide receivers not getting the depth? You got 6 days to fix that. You know, sometimes 5, depending on primetime games. Baseball, next game, next game, next game, next game, next game. You may have a day off. And that day off may be a travel day, so it's a little harder, and that's why you see teams stay on longer skids. Tigers aren't the only ones that have gone on long skids this year, most notably. So have the Yankees, so have the Dodgers, so have the Phils, so have the Braves. So it happens. It's just harder to fix during the season in baseball.
That's right. And I don't think fans want to hear it, and I don't blame them.
they don't.
I really don't. And while other teams are making moves, the Mariners trade for Josh Naylor.
Yep. Big move.
You know what happened today? The Mets trade for Gregory Soto. Gregory Soto. But it's still Gregory Soto. They addressed a need. The
Soto to
Yankees
Soto.
traded for Ryan McMahon. So the Yankees needed a third baseman. They weren't going for Eugenio Suarez, apparently.
See where this
Maybe
is
it cost too much. So they get Ryan McMahon, who I like a lot. Hasn't had a good year, but I like him a lot. He's a young player. He's an all-star. He's a really good glove, and he's got some pop. He's hit 20 homers or more twice in his career. I like that move for the Yankees. The word is that the Tigers are not going to be super aggressive. We don't know that. That's just the word. That would concern more Tigers fans. If you subscribe to this, that the league is wide open, and I don't mean just the American League, okay? I have no doubt they're going to win the division, all right?
Yeah,
But
100%.
I'm talking about the American League. If we think it's wide open, and Toronto's passed them, Houston's caught them, Yankees aren't far behind, okay? I think the entire world of baseball is wide open.
Yeah.
How much do you consider this and say, let's go all in? Let's go trade for Merrill Kelly. Let's trade for Mitch Keller and David Bednar. You're going to have to sacrifice something. You may sacrifice a young arm or two. You may sacrifice a current player on your team who may not be good enough, but you're going to have to move something to get it done. Mitch Keller's a good example of it. Mitch Keller's got some good numbers. I would rather have Merrill Kelly, but okay, Mitch Keller's younger. The problem is that price is going up, up, up.
Yeah.
Okay? This
more
isn't
you
a
wait.
Disney movie, okay? It's not a Pixar movie. This is going up, up, up because the Yankees and the Mets and the Cubs, they're all in on all these guys. They have the same needs.
Yeah, this is tough. You waited to a point where the market is going high. You got the cash, but you're not typically a team that spends like that, at least so, we think. Going back to the Toronto Blue Jays series, I will also add, it's tough to play against the Blue Jays coming off that Pirates series because the Blue Jays have been red hot. The Blue Jays have been good. So it's not like they played a bad team.
Right.
You lost to the Pirates, a horrible team, and you lost to a really good team that's in first place, actually, in the Blue Jays. So that counts for something. It's going to be interesting to see what the mindset is because, as you said, teams are making moves now.
Yeah.
Tigers are not. It goes back into the theory to start this season. They had a lot of young guys play really well in the playoffs last year during the seasons. You bring them to the team. Maybe let's just see what these guys can do. Maybe let's see what this is. And also, when you win early, see, we got excited because they won a playoff game. Yeah. And so now, what are we in Detroit? What are we talking about? All right, let's go for it all. Like now. Yeah. That's the new mentality. Yeah. Scott Harris might be of the other mindset. Like, look, be calm. Last year, we won a playoff game. Y'all didn't even think it was when getting to the playoffs.
They didn't do that.
I think it might be a situation where we weren't supposed to do it last year, and we did. We're going to chill.
I would say this. He's going to feel it. He's going to feel it. If winning a playoff series was great last year, pushing the Indians or the Guardians all the way to the end was really good too. But if he doesn't make a move, he's going to feel it. I mean, fans feel like this is a moment of an opportunity for this team. Now, you know me. Yeah. I don't believe in windows. However, if you feel like Tarek Skubal, and I don't know what the Tigers' thinking is on this. Jeez. Nobody does. The Tigers' thinking is obviously they would like to keep him. But if you feel like the Skubal window is there for this year and next, then this would be the time to make a move. Last year, I would remind people this. Last year, you received 2 top 25 members of the Dodgers farm system, Lorenzo and Sweeney, for Jack Flaherty. If you brought in a Merrill Kelly or a Mitch Keller, would you surrender 2 of your top 20 prospects for either one of those guys who would be inserted as your number 2 playoff starter?
Shep, yes. Because you have been on this and a little bit ahead of the curve. And now as I sit and I look at this thing, I do have more questions about our starters. I do have more questions about our playoff depth as it relates to our pitchers and our bullpen. And at this point in time, if you're talking about taking advantage of a window that may be 2 years with Skubal, you have to strike now. And I wonder, it's interesting between the Pistons and the Tigers, both of their trade deadline strategies change because I don't think, like Trajan said it, we didn't expect the Pistons to be this good, right?
That's right.
But then Scott Harris, a few months ago when everything was roses, said, we're going to be aggressive. At that point in time, a marginal move could have looked aggressive. Now I wonder what that is, now that a whole lot more needs are seemingly on the precipice.
Yeah, I think we'll shift to Lions here, and rightfully so, because there's a lot of discussion about it. But I would leave people with this.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 2 names, and just be honest with me. You don't have to try and fool me here. Do you know who Chris Rodriguez is?
Yeah. The Venezuelan player maybe has some Aaron Judge to his game that they brought in, and he looks like he could be a first baseman of the future for the team.
Yeah, he's actually an outfielder right now. He's only 17.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know, and do you know who Carson Rucker is?
No.
Okay. So those are the 2 guys, prospect-wise rankings, what it took to get Jack Flaherty a year ago. I'm not saying that's what would get Merrill Kelly or Mitch Keller.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's the equivalent of what you received for Jack Flaherty last year. If you play that out, and that's easy for me to say, but it may not be true. If you play that out, I would do that in a minute, and I think most people would. That's what it's going to take. Like, it's easy for me to sit here and say, they got to make a trade. They got to trade for a starter. Yeah. What are you willing to give up, and who do you want?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
if you could get Mitch Keller and David Bednar, and David Bednar's a closer, Keller's a starter. If you could get them for a prospect, Sweeney, and Parker Meadows, would you do it? And Bednar, you're going to have for next year.
Yes.
Absolutely, you would do
100%.
100%.
Here, let me tap in on this. I know I'm quiet when you get to talking farm teams. You know, so I got to brush up on the farm system and all that. And I will. I'll get better. But last time I checked, I believe they told me somewhere that the Detroit Tigers had overtaken the Devil Rays in terms of the farm system.
That's correct.
All of the farm teams are cooking with grease.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then the answer is yes. Because if all the farm teams are cooking with grease, that means you have multiple prospects in which you can 17. you know what? Cool, we're done. We're not focused on 4 years from now, 3 years from now. So yes, don't tell me in one sentence that this is now the best farm system in the MLB, and then in the next, I don't know if I would give him up. It's just counterproductive.
Yeah, we're talking about a guy in rookie ball and low A,
Right.
and you want to hold on to them? Shep, John Smoltz. Okay, you think one of these guys would be John Smoltz? Come on. And by the way, Doyle Alexander did get you to the finish line.
Shout out to Smoltz.
Yeah, shout out to John Smoltz. I mean, I think you if you want to be aggressive, if you want to get something, you've got to give up something.
That's true. The only two names I would stray away from is, of course, Max Clark and Kevin McGonigal, just based on
Bryce Rainer?
Bryce Rainer, we can discuss it. But if I was going to risk any one of those three, it may be Bryce Rainer. But when you just look at how Scott Harris wants to build this, he came from the Giants. He wants to build with young talent.
Yeah, but if you're gonna trade one of those guys, or Bryce Rainer specifically, as you mentioned, you're getting a hell of a lot more than Mitch Keller and David Bednar.
And I would think so too, because for Chris Rodriguez and stuff, I would give them up. They're kids essentially. But you look at where Max Clark and Kevin McGonigal are; they're already in AA. They're being fast tracked as we speak right now. We kind of expect them to maybe see some time at some point next year. You don't agree with that?
Yeah, I don't know if I go quite that far. I don't think they've been fast-tracked. I thought they would have been on a faster track than they have been, quite honestly. I mean, for them, I thought them staying at high A this year for as long as they did and for as much success as they had this year surprised me, number one. Number two, I do understand. You have to, in order for them to get there, you've got to move others.
Yeah.
So, look, I trust Ryan Garco implicitly. I would hold – I don't know what you would have to get a big name, you know. I don't think you'd have to give up a whole lot for Eugenio Suarez unless the Diamondbacks are holding. Look what Josh Naylor fetched them. Not a whole lot, and he's not exactly the same. But we're talking about a rental here.
Yeah.
Okay? We're talking about Eugenio Suarez coming here and playing for 3 months. That's it.
Essentially what the Dodgers did with Jack Flaherty.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Would the Dodgers do that over again? You damn right they would.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So would you?
Yes.
Knowing that it's wide open,
Absolutely.
knowing that it's wide open, this belief that we've got to hold on to certain young prospects. I get there are certain guys, but you can't have it both ways then. Don't tell me you want to hold on to your prospects and then suddenly you want to make your team go for it. Bullcrap.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, if Dave Dombrowski could trade some of the prospects that he had, and they weren't all that great, some of them were. Jacob Turner was really good. I get that. Cameron Maben was really good. I understand that. But if he can make some moves that he felt bettered his team, Scott Harris could be able to make some moves too, and I hope he will.
I agree. I hope we're not having the same. Actually, I do and I don't having the same conversation about another team in Detroit this season. The Pistons.
Yeah.
Because this seems like kind of similar territory. Pistons weren't supposed to do what they did last year. They did what they did last year, a small off season. What will it look like during the season if they're in the space where the East is open, you can run, and they don't make a move or they're not willing to make a move?
Yeah, especially with Milwaukee and Indiana, although Milwaukee improved the Miles Turner, but maybe they got hurt by
Knicks and
Damian
their
Lillard.
coach. Does anybody believe in Mike Brown in New York?
No.
Yeah, that surprised me
Y'all
that they
was
fired
better
Tom
off keeping-
Thibodeau.
yeah, y'all was
Boston's
better off
going to be
keeping
better,
Tibbs.
right? Boston's going to be better, but they're
No
peeling
Jason
back and
Tatum.
no Jason
Yeah.
Tatum. You're right. You can kick that door in.
Drew might not be there either. Drew's out. Drew's gone.
Yeah, Drew Holiday. Yeah, he was
Y'all
traded.
always. I'm ready to talk.
I was going to say Cleveland. Let's not. I mean, wait a
Small
minute.
guards haven't won small guards have not won an NBA Finals since
Okay.
Joe and Isaiah.
Well, let's put it this way.
Facts.
If my team won 61 games and was the number one seed in the Eastern Conference one year, and the next year everyone's going, sorry, you're not that good, you and I would be pissed. The hair on the back of our neck would be standing up.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I'm going to give them some credit. I'm
giving them credit,
some respect.
but I'm also pointing out a fact. Facts can't be argued. The fact is, the last small guards to win it was in 1989, 1990. It was Joe and Isaiah. So that's more of a small guards don't win. So it's not disrespecting Cleveland. I love Darius Garland. I love what that coach was able to do and come in there and expound on what J.B. Bickerstaff had done. Small guards don't win. Because you can't check.
Mitchell.
You can't check Kate Cunningham. You can't check the Jason Tatums that want to bring up the ball that are 6'10".
Yeah.
Small guards. And then when you get on, look at what's your boy? The Knicks, Brunson. You can't
Jalen
guard
Brunson.
anybody.
Yeah.
Who are you guarding? That's why you can't win with small
Right,
guards.
fair enough. I think it's a great point.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people can guard him, but I mean that's a fair point. You're
fair.
going to need some help. If you need help, Ben Johnson is there to help you out, and
Elite.
so is Braylon Edwards.
Elite
Yes,
transition.
we are. Ben Johnson is too, because Ben Johnson is a fighter that wants to fight for you. BenFights.com. That's what you got to go to. If you got a case, they want to win this case for you, man. It doesn't matter if it's a settlement or a trial. They will handle this case for you because they are tough, tenacious trial lawyers, and that is just what they do. Justice, it means different things to different people, but not for Vin. Vin, justice means you always get it. We're going to give it to you. VinFights.com.
Hey, and after you're done fighting, why don't you relax in the massage chair, man? Looking to upgrade your relaxation game. I know Shep is. I know Shep is, man. Check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. The largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest with top brands for massage chairs like Infinity and Osaki. Located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road, experience luxury comfort with the wellness doc, Dr. Eric Duncan, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit or go to massagechairhouse.com. Scan that QR code on the screen right there. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
So, you're a Detroit sports fan, huh? Well then, make sure you subscribe to all the Woodward sports pages on YouTube. We have Woodward Baseball, Woodward Pistons, and of course, Woodward Hockey. Get breakdowns, updates, and bonus coverage of all things Detroit. So pick your favorite sport and follow along with the best Detroit sports coverage ever made. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. VenFights.com.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Summer's heating up and Feldman's clearing space for the incoming new models. That means massive markdowns during Feldman's Hot Summer Sale. Get a 2025 Silverado for just $189 a month, or this 2026 Equinox for just $209 a month. Inventory's moving fast, and when it's gone, it's gone. So don't sweat the search. Just get to Feldman. More locations, more inventory, more ways to save. The Hot Summer Sale is on at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Is Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, and with 5 locations in Highland, New Hudson, Novi, Livonia, and Lansing, you guys can get that deal. What deal am I talking about? It's this month's specials. You want to get it because it changes every 30 days, man. The 2025 Silverado 1500 Crew, you can lease that one for $189 a month, and the 2026 Equinox LT, you can lease that for $209 a month. This offer ends August 10th, so get there quick. And what you guys got going on in the mornings, I already know. It's Sean Belegian in the morning with Madge. You guys better stay tapped in, man, with the news show every week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's two of Detroit sports legends, Tom and Sean Belegian. They team up to bring you bold takes, big laughs, and unfiltered Detroit sports talks. Expect breaking news, guest interviews, interactive segments, and that classic Detroit fire. I hear they got a pretty elite booth over there, too, with JB and KG. Grab your coffee and start your mornings with Real Detroit Sports Radio, only on Woodward Sports, starting July 21st. And we back.
Yeah, we've got a better booth.
Hey,
Okay.
I love the fact that you talk during the reads. It's like the best thing ever because it's authentic. I love it. Keep that going.
I love it.
That's why I had to mute his
I hope
mic.
I don't bother anybody.
Yeah, I had to mute your mic.
No, you're good.
Sorry about that.
No, you all good.
I like it. We're creating new rhythms and new rhymes, man. I like it.
It's reactionary. When you start talking about that chair, there's a, you know how you get some nervous twitches once in a while? You ever get a nervous twitch?
Yeah, 100%.
You know? When I start hearing the read about the chair, I immediately want to go run into the chair.
I have a little known fact. So we started doing massage house chairs. This is the third month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's third month. We did the Pharaoh. I forget what this name is. Big Smooth or Black Smooth, call it that.
Black Smooth.
I have not sat in a chair one time.
Really?
Well,
I have never sat in it.
you had a hard time getting me out of it earlier today.
This one ain't
why.
going to be for you. Like the Pharaoh was for you.
I love
Pharaoh?
that chair.
Yeah.
I
it
saw
was
the
bigger.
Pharaoh moving knees and ankles and all. I was like, I don't want to get stuck. Man.
Yeah. But you kind of tall, so the Pharaoh would have worked a little better for you. This one is for the shorter people in the crowd. That's all.
What are you saying?
Kinda.
I call it like I see it, man.
See, that one's for Shep. Not messing with you.
Okay, so the Lions have some interesting storylines, I think.
TLB.
And one of them is, something we've talked a lot about, but I'm excited to get your take on the coordinators of John Morton and Kelvin Sheppard. Personally, I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
All right. How long does it take for an offense to get used to a new offensive coordinator, and what could possibly change? And then we're going to hear from Jared Goff on his new OC in a moment. But first, I want your thoughts on that.
In terms of working with a new coordinator, I played offense, so I speak from the offensive side of things. It's getting the temperament of the players. It's kind of like getting the players, getting used to what the players are, so you can implement your system. But from the player side, does it work? Like how do you talk? Does it work? Especially like how are you trying to get the locker room? So like the hardest is to get the offensive side. My thing is, you come in, you implement your system, say who you are. You don't talk about the past and what was. Like you move with, this is what we're going to be, this is what we're going to do. You make guys feel good about what the system is, and you go out there and practice that system. I went through so many offensive coordinators. Like when I was in Cleveland and everybody came in, this is how we're going to do it this time. Man, fail. This is how we're going to do this up, fail. The guy that worked, Rob Chudzinski, who did not work as a head coach, but how he worked as offensive coordinator, he had something new. He made it fun. He told us, he said, look, we're going to have a lot of fun, but we're going to do it the right way. We do it the right way. And he just made us focus in on little things like MAs. Like minor, like mistakes, like missed assignments and things of that nature. We focused on that, and the game that came easy. You focus on knowing where you're supposed to be, the minor things, the MAs, the missed assignments, and we were better offense, and we actually were 7-1 at the crib that year under Rob Chudzinski when he came in. New coordinator, liked him in that space. It was good.
I think he's a BC guy, isn't he? Rob
no, it's same conference, Miami.
Miami.
He was tight end in Miami.
Yeah, that's right. So, does he adjust, or in the Lions' case, do you think John Morton is adjusting to Jared Goff and his guys, or vice versa?
No. Like Johnny Morton is adjusting to the players. Like it's not the other way around. Let's not get it twisted. Okay. The Lions' offense last year was number one. The Lions' offense the year before that was number two, and it's number one in a lot of categories. So Johnny Mo doesn't want to come here and reinvent the wheel. With Johnny Mo, he was my wide receivers coach when I was with the 49ers in 2011, so I actually know a lot about him. It's sometimes good to get an outside eye in. Johnny Morton came here in 2020. He was here in 2022.
Right.
He knows his team. He knows his coach. He's familiar with these players. Then he left. He was able to watch Ben Johnson and some of the things that worked, which was a lot. There's a lot of things that didn't work. But because so much worked, we don't see that. The average fan doesn't see that. His job is to come in here and take the things that he saw they didn't do well, figure out why, and implement that and help them. But they're already doing well. Why do you reinvent the wheel?
But there's got to be some communication between him and his guys, specifically Jared Goff, wearing the green dot. There's got to be a rhythm and a symmetry, because Goff and Ben Johnson were able to establish that for a long period of time, like you didn't have to finish the sentence. It's like you and your significant other. You've been around long enough.
Right.
You know exactly what the other one is thinking and about to do. Maybe
women are hard to figure out.
Yeah, they are.
They are. But
and I could be complex too. But I would guess, wouldn't that be something similar here?
And then that's why you should be confident in this Lions offense, is because that lies on Jared Goff, who has been building this offense with the team. We're going to talk about that guy down the street later, but he's been building this since 2021. He's been working with Dan. He's been working with this offensive line. He's been working with these same receivers. He's been working with his running backs now for the last 2 years. So it's on him to get in rhythm with Johnny Mo. Johnny Mo will work through Jared Goff. Jared Goff has the rhythm of the offense. He has the cadence of this offense. So you already got a guy in place. So you don't want to come here and shake up the fabric. You speak through Jared Goff. You allow him to be the 9-year leader that he is. You allow him to be the captain and the guy that for a large part of the season was in the MVP category. So he's got to work through Jared Goff. Jared Goff is going to be his conduit to that to that offense.
And you know what, Bray, just to piggyback on that, I know it's a little bit of a different situation when Larry Brown got here, but he spoke through Chauncey Billups, who was that coach on the field, and helped make that transition through several coaches in a short span that much easier, in my opinion, to be able to get acclimated to what he could bring to this to their team. And when you got Johnny Mo, who helped to lay the foundation of this offense, that's per Dan Campbell, in the beginning of this thing, and now he's back as the actual OC, I do believe that this is going to be, as you know, Jared Goff alluded to, a great transition.
Yeah, the only thing I think is different there, Kool-Aid, is that in basketball, I think there's more freelancing. Okay, you've got 24 seconds to try and get into a play. If they take your play away, which oftentimes it does, because everybody knows. Hey, horns. Hey, horns. Everybody knows what's going on, right? Zipper. It's easier to do that. Football, it's harder to do that.
True, but I mean, with Ben Johnson, and we do have to credit Jared Goff for, taking the reins of the offense, but when Ben Johnson was brought in, they changed the whole offense to suit Jared Goff's skill sets. And Johnny Mo was a big part of that. He was here for the install. So, and when you look at the Lions, they've built their offense on having one of the best offensive lines in the league. Credit Hank Fraley for that as well. And they've also built it on a strong run game, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. So, like, much to Braylon's point, you don't want to change what's already working. You're going to get your money on offense by running the football and by, utilizing play action, which is one of Jared Goff's best strengths.
Gotta do it,
I keep forgetting how much connection I have to this dog on Detroit Lions team.
Talk about it.
It just behooves me. Johnny Morton was my OC. Excuse me. He was my wide receivers coach when I played for the 49ers in 2011. Hank Fraley was the center for the Browns the year I'm talking about, where we went 10-6 and didn't make the playoff. Thank you, Tennessee Titans. Steve Hyden, who was the tight ends coach. Steve Hyden and I played in Cleveland together. Mark Brunell, the quarterback's coach.
Holy crap.
Mark Brunell threw me my last touchdown with the New York Jets.
Come on.
And the list goes on.
Dude, we should be doing the show from Allen Park right now.
We really should.
And parading these guys in is
you know
what we ought to be doing.
That's on the way.
Hey, you coming out of retirement?
But a lot of overlap on this team, man. But you're absolutely right, Kate. He helped implement this system in 22 with Jared Goff, so there's a familiarity there. So I think he kind of already knows that.
Okay.
And that's why I spoke more so to the things that he watched that didn't work.
Yeah.
That's where he can come in and actually help.
So if you know that, KG knows that, Kool-Aid knows that, I know that, people in the chat know that, how come so much is made of that transition then? Why is so much being made of a new offensive coordinator? And quite honestly, we could carry that over to Kelvin Sheppard. Kelvin Sheppard was at the knee of Aaron Glenn for a long period of time.
Absolutely.
And those players seem to gravitate toward him. I love what Kelvin Sheppard has said. He says, I don't have to worry about it. His confidence, to me, is telling about this team right now. Because he's like, I can walk by the defensive backs room, the linebackers room, the defensive line room. I don't have to worry about what people are saying when I leave. I know I've got the right people in place. He's the man, okay? So why is so much being made of that?
Yeah, because I think I can talk about Kelvin Sheppard too, but with Ben Johnson.
Why'd you play with him too, for crying out loud?
I played against Kelvin Sheppard. I played against him. But with Ben Johnson, like, so much was talked about in the last 2 years from when he kind of really took over at the end of 22 about the genius that was Ben Johnson. And that's become a staple in the NFL. The genius of Kevin O'Connell takes over Minnesota. The genius of Kevin Stefanski takes over in Cleveland. The genius of offensive
Kyle Shanahan,
which was really one of the ones that deserved. The genius of Sean McVay with the Redskins. Now he's the Los Angeles Rams head coach. That's the same conversation that was with which was the same conversation that they had with Ben Johnson. You see the numbers don't lie. You see what was happening in the last 2 years with Jared Goff, like KG said. But that's why there's such a nervousness about what this team is. Mixed in what happened in the playoffs, you look at that. Can they be better without Ben Johnson? And then you're bringing in this guy, Johnny Morton, and you're telling me, oh, well, he was here in 22, and he knows Jared Goff. if you're just listening to that, that doesn't mean anything to you when you're talking about losing Ben Johnson, who many people view as the next Shanahan, McVay, O'Connell. So I think that's why. Go ahead, KG.
No, my bad. And yeah, you're absolutely right with the boy genius angle, but I think that's more so for the media side of it. Yeah. For the fan side of it is we've never experienced any offense as potent as this Lions offense has been.
The NFL has never experienced it.
And to
they
be
broke
real,
the record.
Yeah, they one of the all-time
great.
They are one of the all-time great offenses of at least this decade. Stat-wise. So it's for the fan perspective, we haven't seen this much success ever as a Lions offense, and losing the guy that was quote behind it, that scares a lot of people. It absolutely does.
But the name we've consistently heard this morning, and that's why I'm glad we've heard it from Shep and Bray, this is on Jared Goff. He's the guy that's been here throughout all the transition. And when you're talking about a guy who was just top 5 in MVP voting, and a guy who we know, if everything was right, the Lions probably playing a little bit longer in that last year's playoff run. This is where he's the one who's been here through the transition. You hope he's learned through the transition. They instilled an offense that was to your skill set. It's like you said, Bray, and I take your perspective to heart on that. Yeah. He's got to be the one to go out there and make this offense, in my opinion, go. And I take some – I feel a lot of times like it's a little bit of a backhanded shot, though, at Dan Campbell. I think that this system.
In what? What do you mean?
The doubts in this squad.
The brains behind the operation.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Who's the real brains behind the operation?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think he gets. We've talked about that. I don't think he gets nearly enough credit. But if people are taking a step back at the Lions, you could understand why, right? When you've got at least two new offensive interior linemen, that's a big question mark, because Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs, they don't do what they do without those guys up front. Okay, 100%. I know people. You sure watch it, but I know most people don't watch games that way. Those guys are badasses. The guys who put their hand in the dirt are vital, right? You didn't address, quote unquote, the opposite defensive end rush, right? Of the opposite of Aidan Hutchinson.
Oh, they got Marcus Davenport though.
Oh, my bad. you've got question marks and injuries with defensive tackles, right? And there is the outsiders are looking at like Alex Anzalone's not real happy. So when you've got all that, plus 2 new coordinators, which we all think is overblown, but from the outside looking in, they don't. You can understand why people would have some question marks about the Lions,
to a little bit of a degree, but I remember last year when people were trying to bury the Philadelphia Eagles for the noise that was happening, for the changes that were happening, we saw that head coach and their quarterback were the ultimate stabilizing figures. And if our team is going to take that next step, if the Lions are for real, Dan Campbell has to be a guy that's above the shots that people take, and Jared Goff has to prove that he is truly an MVP candidate.
Well, you remember,
you got to watch out.
Yeah,
because that next year they struggled.
Yeah, but remember earlier last year, Nick Sirianni was screaming at his home fans.
Yeah.
So they weren't really supporting him. He wasn't the guy who was keeping them afloat. Yeah. Jalen Hurts was. Maybe A.J. Brown was, Devontae Smith, Brandon Graham, all those guys.
Brown and
I mean, there were people questioning Nick Sirianni constantly because he's flying off the handle. It's the winning that changes everything. We know that. That's the way it's been in football and any sport forever.
Yeah, winning's able to mask everything, and how they got back to winning. One, they went out and got the number 1 running back currently in the NFL, Saquon Barkley. The other thing they did is they went out and got Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore came in there as an offensive. You know what he was able to do with the Dallas Cowboys.
Vic Fangio too.
I played Vic Fangio was defensive coordinator.
Yeah. So when you bring in 2 new coordinators like they did,
you bring in them, that's different.
Those are different
because those guys have already proven track records.
Right.
You saw what Kellen did the last couple of years with Dak. Whether you like Dak or not, I don't. But whether you like him or not, you saw what he was able to do stat-wise. Facts.
That's my favorite stuff. When you get a little sneak in there from Braylon, we should
yeah,
call it the Braylon bit. It's just a Braylon bit is what it is. Whether you like Dak Prescott or not, I don't, but he just continues right on, man.
You don't. And so it's like, all right, here comes Vic Fangio, here comes Kellen Moore. You know what they're going to do. They get back on track with Saquon Barkley. They don't have the same thing here with Detroit. J-Mo is a relative unknown to the sense of the outside fan base. You look at Kelvin Sheppard. Well, this guy has never been a defensive coordinator. He's a linebacker he came up under Aaron Glenn. Where I have faith in him is when they had the whole conversation during Hard Knocks, and they were talking about him asking Dan Campbell, should he cut his hair or not? And Dan Campbell told him, no, I want you to be as authentic as you can. What happened in that moment is he put a battery pack in Coach Sheppard to be unapologetically who he was, and he has been that since. And I think that he's gonna take what Aaron Glenn started here, and he's actually going to enhance it on the defensive side of the ball.
You think they'll be better under these two coordinators?
Well, they have better players. They have better talent. Like, keep in mind.
Offensively, they don't.
Well, Aaron, I'm talking about defense.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Defensively, they do. So he'll be able to take with Aaron Glenn and go further. Offensively, no, they don't, because of the offensive line.
And I will say this with Kelvin Sheppard, one of the things that makes me a little bit more bullish about him, you listen to all of the people around the league that have given him his kudos and said we knew he would be a coach all the way back when he was a player. He knew everything. But you look at these linebackers. All these linebackers at one point in time were criticized or low-rated, draft picks. When you look at a Rodriguez, he coached up every
Jack
single
Campbell
one of those guys.
Jack Campbell
not Jack
wasn't,
Campbell,
but
not Jack
Everybody
Campbell. But
else.
he wasn't necessarily the guy that the fans were clamoring for.
Well, but you
you
don't draft for fans.
You
I
don't-
don't,
you
no
don't-
offense to people in the chat. No offense to
Yeah.
me or anybody. Who cares
Well,
who
exactly.
the fans want?
I
They
agree
didn't.
with
By
that.
the way, those fans didn't want Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Those fans didn't want Jameson Williams.
I agree with
those
that.
fans didn't want Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
Now they do.
Yep.
That's not who you draft for. I don't care.
Sam was cool.
Yeah, I
Sam
wanted
was
Sam.
cool.
No,
But I agree with the other ones.
But
I agree with the other ones.
I don't care. I don't think any organization cares that the fans didn't want X player. Then they shouldn't. Okay? They don't do the research like the guys do in the front office.
No, that's a fact.
And if the guys in the front office swing and miss, they should be gone.
Yeah, but and what I was getting at with Kelvin, though, is the fact that no matter what people on the outside thought, this guy did coach up that room. From Malcolm Rodriguez and every other linebacker
Enzo,
that
yeah.
hit Enzo.
Sure.
And these are guys that you remember in the beginning for a few years, fans were like, yo, let's get rid of them. And that's why I do have a lot of confidence in him. And that the fact that Hank Fraley is still there
Yeah.
and got the bump,
I think that's big.
another one that makes me a little bit more comfortable. And I think that this year is going to be a true test of the health of the Detroit Lions organization. If you're going to be good, this is what you have to be able to hurdle.
One, do you know what the hell you're talking about? And two, can you get the people that you're coaching to believe that?
How do you know a coach knows what he's talking about?
Oh.
Because he doesn't waver from the message.
Nice.
Like, it's confident. It comes out a certain way. Even when coaches say the same dumb stuff when it does not work, like it doesn't have that confidence level when they're spitting it to you. Doesn't have that confidence level when they're on the overhead, tell you how old I am. Doesn't have the same when they're on the digital clicker, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They've got the huddle up and you're watching practice like, well, Braylon, you know how I think on this one you should take a 12-step because maybe, like, should I or should I not?
Yeah.
Like, when you got to
Just
coach,
tell me to do it.
Tell me
Take
what
the
to do.
12-step instead of you should take a 12.
because we can be wrong together on the field and then work that out.
Yeah.
Because at least if you have the confidence in how you relay the message to me and you going over and saying, yeah, I'm all right, bet. Yeah, all right, bet. So I'll take a 12, boom, boom, boom. If it doesn't work on the field, hey, Braylon, I think 14 might be better because we tried 12, it didn't work, and it didn't work. Now you explain why it doesn't work, that's when I start to buy it even more. Not only did it not work, he explained to me why it didn't work, and then when I went 14 on that route and we had success and I was able to take that 14-yard catch and get it to 22, okay, he knows what he's talking about. I like coaches
Love
that
that.
are confident and they're not afraid to fail. Sometimes bleep doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. The other guys get paid as well. The other coaches get paid as well that you're going against. Stuff doesn't work sometimes. So I like the confidence to call it, then the ability to say, all right, this is why it didn't work.
Yeah, I actually love what's going on right now with the Lions, believe it or not. I mean,
Ooh,
I don't
to me.
love, I can't say that I love some of the injuries, obviously, but my concern going into training camp was surrounded by the interior part of the offensive line. The discussion we're having about their offensive line coach has solidified my belief that, you know what, they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, one of the best in the game.
So that's one thing. I know it has to be done.
Yeah.
We have to see it first. The other thing is when Braylon's sitting there talking about John Morton and his willingness to listen and kind of just, this is my offense, this is the way it's got to be, Sparky Anderson. No, he's going to adjust to them. That makes me feel really good. And I love what's been coming out of camp when David Montgomery comes out and says what we talked about yesterday and what earlier, what Talik Williams said about DJ Reader and how that's my mentor, that's my guy, that's the guy who's helping me. I love that stuff.
Absolutely.
In other words, that's a young man who doesn't come from a national champion at Ohio State thinking he already knows everything. Okay? He's coming in, he's going, I'm going to be a sponge.
Yeah.
I'm going to absorb everything I can from a guy who's been there, done that. He's going to make me better. I love that stuff. I think that, and when we talk about culture, That's the flipping culture you got to have. That's the culture every organization, football or non,
Get excited,
should have.
yeah.
I love that
Get
stuff.
excited.
Shep pounded the
I love
table.
that.
All right, Shep.
I'm fired up right now.
No, I'm fired up as well. Johnny Morton was able to get through to one of the most asshole players that has ever played in the NFL. Once I say his name, you guys know what I'm talking about. Michael Crabtree, for as great as he was in college.
Sorry ass receiver
College.
like Crabtree.
NFL, he was okay. NFL, he was okay. College, he was two-time Blitnikoff winner, Texas Tech, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't listen to anything, anybody. He does his own thing, got paid, it is what it is. Somehow Johnny Morton was able to reach this brother from the time of training camp to the time he came back and played games week 7, week 8, changed his tune, changed some of the things that he did in his game, and it worked for Alex Smith. It worked for what we were doing with Greg Roman out there. It worked. Johnny Morton was able to get that. He also was able to talk to Alex and Crabtree, and I watched this process take place. I never talked about it because I never had a reason to. I watched this process take place. To get somebody like Crabtree to be able to come around, it speaks to your communication skills.
Yeah.
It speaks to the trust that players will have in you. So that is speaking from experience, and I think that's what Johnny Morton will add to this team.
How did
I
he
think it'll
do
be
that?
dope.
Well, you witnessed it firsthand. I mean, it had to be there had to be some connection there between the two.
There was a little bit back and forth in the beginning of training camp, and then I noticed Johnny just kind of let Crabtree do his own thing. And he let Crabtree have unsuccess in the offense that Greg Roman, Johnny Moe, and Jim Harbaugh were trying to build. He had unsuccess, and Johnny watched him. Johnny watched him get frustrated. And as opposed to go up to him like, yo, I told you this, I told you that, he just went up to him, just small little thing. He said, look, you know what I'm saying, on that route right there, if you take an outside release instead of inside, you may have a little. He came at him like that. And a couple of those things, now you're having success. And now what is the player doing? Hey, so when you saw this play, what did you think about my route?
That's great.
When I was coming in motion, what was my speed like? Yo, what is the actual concept? Now you start asking about more than just your position. Now it's like, all right, so what's the concept of this route? What is it designed to do? Who is it designed to get open? How can I get better at? That's what I watched happen.
That's
in
fascinating.
San Fran.
That's a great story. Did he coach you the same way?
He did.
Okay.
He did.
So he was the same with everybody.
yeah,
so
100%.
it's kind of like being a parent. It really is. There are certain rules everyone's got to abide by.
Different kids,
How you
different little-
implement them to each individual might be slightly different. Okay, because Kool-Aid may need a pat on the back, where KG can just take an ass chewing. It doesn't matter, right? So that message with everybody is the same way, the way he handles it, right?
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, KG. I figured you could.
No, you good.
No offense to Kool-Aid.
I ain't taking no ass chewers over here. No, you all good.
It wasn't work well. I wish I remember we were talking about before the Johnny Moe thing. The defense, it was pretty interesting. I had something for that too. But.
Oh no, we still got defense on the docket, man. We do, and I got some soundbite from Jared Goff, and I want to be able to get to the chat family because they've sent in some super chats too. So I'm gonna read their comments. We'll hear from Jared Goff. We'll hit these reads, and he'll get right back into it. Let's rock. So Michael with the $2 super chat says,
shout out.
Okay, chat. This is Michael Wary. Shout out to him, man. One of the supporters. Says, okay, chat. Light up that like button. Y'all gonna be smashing that like button. Y'all got fired up, Shep, today, man. Smash that like button. Michael Wary also sends another one. $5 super chat. He says, remember, John Morton helped to install the offense used by Ben Johnson. So won't much change except for more running the ball. Just watch. And then Brian Roof with the $2 super chat. He says, Ahmed, I believe this Ahmed Hassanin is the highest character kid I've seen.
Okay. Not bad for a guy who's only played 5 years of football in his life, and I hope he's an impact player. That's awesome. The second to last one you read there regarding John Morton, the only difference might be is play calling. Like installing an offense is one thing.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Calling the game during the game is completely different.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
The feel you have for your team, the moment, distance, defense, all that other stuff, anticipation, that is different. What kind of play caller do you think John Morton is?
I think he'll be a good play caller because he's not one that gets impulsive, and he's not one that's trying to go tick for tack. He's one that stays attention to what he's going to do, and he has a scheme eventually it's going to play out. It's time for Jared Goff to be the #1 quarterback overall that he was drafted to be with the St. Louis Rams years ago. Like, that's how Johnny Morton gets the help. That's how he's able to implement a system. You say it's different in calling plays than implementing a system. That's why you got to lean on 16. 16, this is year 9. Now it's time to step up. When you start talking about the guys that have been leading teams, leading offenses, his name is now one of them. This is what he was doing. So he has to take that step too. He's got to take it out of Johnny Morton's hands at times. Like 100%.
And Shep,
I would just remind everybody, when we had this conversation last week, who's got the most pressure?
Yep.
And it was the man on the name of the show. He brought it up. It was a great topic.
Yeah.
I said Jared Goff, and I think a lot of it is because of this.
Yeah.
These expectations, he's got to be the guy. He's got to play. It's hard to play to Joe Burrow level, Patrick Mahomes level.
Right.
He's got to be in the discussion. At
He
the
has
end
to
of the
be a
year,
top
he's got to
five.
be in the discussion.
He has to be a top 5 quarterback.
Talk to me, KG.
And I absolutely agree with that. I just wanted to add in about the Johnny Mo point. Can I also offer you that he got the most out with the Jets in a situation in which he couldn't even pick his own coaches to be on his staff? He got the most out of Balil Powell, Robbie Chosen Anderson. You know, the times that he did what he was able to call plays, he was still able to get that out of a situation in which he didn't have total control of. Yeah. So I will offer you that too.
Tells you something there. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes me feel even more comfortable.
If you can coach Robbie Anderson, you can coach anybody.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So he's coached Robbie Anderson and Michael Crabtree, 2 guys who would be, how shall we put this, 2 of the more challenging wide receivers he's ever had to deal with.
That's
perhaps.
why he doesn't have any hair.
It's on his chin.
Exactly, on his chin. Shout out to Johnny Mo. Good to see this dude, man.
Shout out to Johnny.
He was intense. Speaking of Chippewa, he's a central.
Hey,
he's
fire
a fire
up
up.
Chip.
Fire up.
Chip ooh-ah.
Dietrich Hands can never see the field again.
He has
Shout
I
out
want
to
to say
Chips.
he has a central.
Dietrich
Michigan
Nance.
Do you think last night John Morton's looking at the Tiger game going, man, Dietrich Nens, right? That's awesome. I'm really glad he's in there.
Let's hear from Jared Goff, and then we'll get back, discuss just a little bit. We'll get to some reads. All right. This is Jared Goff on the offense. He has seemed to be a little bit perturbed with these questions about how they're going to shake out. But Jared Goff.
In every offense, there's formation shifts, motions, routes, run plays, protections. I could keep going. Cadences, ways you get in and out of the huddle. A lot of the stuff we're doing in those 8 things I just named is the same, and some of it's different. So it's hard to answer that question when, what's different. Some of it's the exact same, and some of it is a little bit different. And I'm not going to go into the minutia of what is different, but I think the transition from what we were doing last year to him is a lot lesser than you guys are making it seem with the questions, I believe. Like, I get that question every day. A lot of it is the same, and then there's some stuff that we're learning that is new, and it's not that big of a gap between those two, I guess. And I'm sorry if that didn't answer what you asked, but it's been a great transition. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a challenge, but it's been a fun challenge.
That is awesome. That should make you even more excited, right? And you know what that is? Let's just simplify.
Shut up. He put it in simple terms.
No, you know what it is? And I'm probably one of the guys who on the outside are going, oh, yeah, all right. That's you guys have no idea what it takes to call a game.
Exactly. That was a lot of that.
Okay. It is. There are so many elements in this sport that you have no idea. Mm-hmm. And I'm one of them, okay? I'm fully admit. You know it. You can listen to a call in the huddle that can be 8 seconds long.
Yeah, that's a
okay?
fact.
And then and it's stuff that we have no idea. I mean, you'd have to go to the Britannica Encyclopedia to look some of this stuff up. and that's Jared Goff telling us right now. You guys are asking the simplistic questions, and here's the answer you want. Well, it's really different because we're going to run the ball more than we have in the past. That's not the way it works, man. It's completely different.
Yeah, this is I got this. That's what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is Jared Goff's version of, look, man, just drop it. Man, I got this. It's the reason why I'm here. It's the reason why y'all paid me. It's the reason why you feel good about me. It's the reason why I was an MVP last year. I got this. But Jared Goff ain't never going to say this.
Yeah, right.
So, but that's what he wants to say, and you know what? Fair enough.
But he gave those 8 things right there, and I bet you most people were just like, wait, can you go back and I haven't written that down fast enough. it's intense.
It is.
That stuff is really intense.
But I think he's absolutely right. Like, how much is an offense going to change in one calendar year? Not even a whole calendar year, an off season. Like, they're not going to switch too many things. It's a copycat league. A lot of these teams run the same plays. It's just here, a few adjustments here and a few adjustments there. That's all.
Different terminology.
That's all.
Yeah. All right, let's get to this. We've got some really good wearables here at Woodward Sports, and Lady Janes wants to make you look even better when those wearables.
Let's rock. You guys already know. If you want merch, let's get to that light goal. If you can't wait until then, you see the website there on the screen. Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables. New designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. I'm talking about the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Let's get some Woodward Tigers gear and change up that mojo just a little bit. And once you get the gear, you can get fresh over at Lady James.
Yeah, you can get fresh. If I can use that word, and you believe that word, okay, good.
Fired up Shep is fresh.
Let's be honest. We all like things simplistic, don't we?
Yes.
I mean, Jared Goff was just talking to somebody. He's trying to simplify it for him, but it was really hard to do that. You never have a problem making it really simple when you come to Lady Jane's. I can promise you that, because it's really easy. You walk in, you sign in, and before you know it, you're in the chair. Now, I'm not going to lie. It's not quite as comfortable as the chair we got right in front of us. But you might fall asleep with the way these ladies wash your hair, shave the neck, cut your hair. They take care of you. You are the most important person when you are sitting in their chair. Before you know it, you're out the door, you're handsome, you're clean, you look like KG. Lady Jane's open 10 till 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Hey, it's Stick from Woodward Sports. I'm out here at the Feldman shop, of course, you know, because they are #1 people. And the Ineos Grenadier, that's the new car that they got. But I got my man here, the Sun God. I'm not lying. His name is Amon-Ra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He sold me a car.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? Come see us out here, baby. We in Waterford. We got the pre-owns all day. We got the Grenadiers, and we got new Chevys all day. Whatever you need, we got you.
Yeah, and I went with this one. I like it. 2023 Durango. It's used. Only got like 30,000 miles on it. And this guy, man, I was like, listen, this is my price. You either make it happen or I'm out of here.
Easy.
You know what he did? Went to his boss. He's like, I'm making this happen for this guy. Came back, threw the contract on the table. Now I'm in the whip.
Yes, sir. Sign, drive, 0 down, easy money all day.
All right, Feldman, what's the address here, do you know?
5300 Highland Road, Waterford, Michigan, 48327. Open until 6 o'clock every weekday except 9 o'clock on Mondays and Thursdays. It's 4 o'clock on Saturdays. Only day we're not here for you is Sunday. Every other day we're here to get it done, baby.
And his legit name is Amon-Ra. I'm not lying. It was destined. It was meant to be. Woodward Sports found this guy. So thank you very much, man. Enjoying the car, and the kid likes it too. It's nice and safe.
You know he's my guy, Dr. Jeff S. Pierce. Just like it says up there, look, scan this QR code, man. This is how you're going to get involved with the Dr. Doc. Will take care of you. Michigan Sports and Spine, 248-426-9944. Like I tell you, man, Doc will take care of all things sports related, or not even sports related. He can make it happen. You don't have to be a former athlete. You don't have to be a current athlete. You can just be a mom. You can just be a dad. You can just be whoever you want to be. He will get you right. He will fix the things. I have a million stories. How about you make your own story with the doc? 248-426-9944.
And after you get repaired by the doc, why don't you make some sports bets, man? Why not, man? Caesar Sportsbook.
That's what's up.
If I told you that you could place any bet of up to $1,000, and if you lose, you get that bet back, you call me a madman. You call me a liar. You call me a lot of things, right?
I would call you a liar.
Well, thank you, Shep.
Emotional, but not a liar.
Yeah, a little bit emotional, just a little bit. But scan the QR code and on this screen, Woodward 1000. Enter that code right there, and if your first bet doesn't hit, you'll get that deposit bet back up to $1,000. That's right, I said up to $1,000 just for giving it a shot. Minimum bet of just $20, and you can qualify for this. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app today, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. And one more time, that code is Woodward 1000, or scan the QR code on the screen.
Make some money. We back, and you know what, Braylon? Brian Roof in the chat says Braylon Edwards for next wide receivers coach in the D100.
Would you ever want to do that? Would you ever want to coach?
You know, it's funny. Like today, everyone says I look like I'm a wide receiver coach at Michigan.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
I got the shorts. I got
you really do.
Team issue shoes. Yeah, I do. I feel like it. I didn't. I never wanted to. When I was in college, I just watched all the coaches and kind of like the time that they had to put in, the time away from the family, the time in the off season. I got to NFL. I saw the same thing. Saw a lot of wives, relationships that didn't work. But just looking at it from the game side, I didn't know if I wanted balanced personalities for a long time. I didn't have the temperament to sit there and go through with players. Like the first player that told me, man, you wrong. Like now we got to knuckle up. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking, but I say this to say this. In the last couple years, I have realized that a lot of information has been poured into me at a lot of levels, whether it was the Little League level, now it was the West Side Cubs, whether it was King High School or Bishop Gallagher High School or Michigan or Browns, Jets, 49ers, and the rest goes on. It would be super selfish to sit on this information and not pass it back. So I've started to consider coaching in some form. I don't know what that looks like. I'm not going to coach at Michigan or the Lions, but I do want to coach. I do want to give this information back. Maybe it's a consultant role.
The children.
Do you feel like you almost owe it to the game?
Yes, I do.
To give back a little bit?
The game gave me a lot. A lot of people poured into me that did not have to. Keith McKenzie, Jerome Bettis, Pepper Johnson, Reggie McKenzie, Desmond Howard, Tyrone Wheatley, Jared Irons. I can go down the list of people. Rest in peace to Tom Seaburn, who's my dad's really good friend. Played with him. He passed this year. But so many people have poured into me like they didn't have to. So I got to take that same information.
So you want to do the same thing?
42 is a lot of time, hopefully.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest challenge would be?
Learning how to communicate.
Oh, I think you're a really good communicator. Handling their pushback, I would think, might be a little bit of a challenge.
That's what I'm saying. That's the part of communication. It's a different day and age.
Yeah.
And different temperaments, different kids.
Right.
At every level. The high school level, they're still kids to me. The NFL level, they're kids to me.
Sure.
So it's, just learning how to communicate with them in the system. Yeah, but I want to.
I think it's fascinating, and I really do. And speaking of that, Jamison Williams has said that he's gotten better. He's really optimistic. He had a good year last year, don't you guys think?
Oh, yeah, great.
58 rocks, over 1,000 yards.
From
right?
300 to 1,000, absolutely.
It was healthier. I thought he matured.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to be full front here. I wasn't a huge fan.
Oh, that don't surprise me.
I wasn't a huge fan because I didn't think he was very mature. I thought he did things for himself instead of the team. I don't like players like that. However, I can at least admit, just because I don't like a player doesn't mean that I can't say that he's really good.
And true.
I thought he was very good last year.
And Shep, when does it ever come out that he was unprofessional or not a team guy? Like during that whole stretch of him,
I don't know. When you get busted, well, go ahead.
Hold on. I'll make it even easier in the conversation because that semantics going back and forth. I get that conversation. What were you like at 20 years old?
Well, I wasn't that talented.
No. But what were you like at 20 years old? Because a lot of the mistakes and things that we put on Jamison Williams, he's 20. I got drafted at 22. Everybody knows I made a lot of mistakes. I ain't gonna say
we all do. We all make
a couple of mistakes.
Yeah.
He's 2 years younger than I was. I couldn't imagine being in his space at 20 years old getting drafted.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to compare me to him because I was forced with the death of my father early on in my life to maybe grow up a little bit first.
Faster.
But when I say selfish, I mean more about when you get suspended. I think it's selfish. Okay, you're not smart about certain things. It hurts your team. When you're on the field of play and you're doing things that are not helpful for your team, it bothers me. All right? No one's perfect. No. We all make mistakes. We all mature at different rates. I can at least admit the guy was really, really good a year ago. He's talking about he's more polished in his route game, that John Morton is letting him run more routes. he can use more routes, and that he's put him already in a position to run more routes that make him feel more comfortable with cuts and angles. How do you want to see a guy like Jameson Williams get better this year? Take that next step if you think there is a next step for him.
I'll take exactly what he said in this sense. He wants to run routes. He wants to run different types of routes. When I watch Jameson Williams from Alabama to the NFL, it just seems like a super ridiculously athletically talented player that coaches have just pointed and clicked. Hey, J-Mo, line up there, run a go route. J-Mo, line up here, run a zero screen. We'll throw you the ball, make somebody miss, score a touchdown. J-Mo, go over there, run a post route. Those are really the only 3-4 routes he's given, and those were only commands. He gets to the NFL. J-Mo, run this go route. J-Mo, run this go route. J-Mo, run this reverse. J-Mo, here's the end zone. We want you to get in the slot, run a slot. So he's been running the same things, and he's been doing the same thing for the last 5 years, essentially. I want to see him learn the game. I want to see him now approach it from the standpoint like Amon-Ra St. Brown does. Amon-Ra St. Brown knows all of the positions on the field. I'm not telling J-Mo to go out there and have to know what Glasgow is doing on this play, or what Tate Rowledge is doing on this play, or where Penei Sewell is going on this play. It'll help, but I'm not telling him to do that. I want you to dial in, become a route runner. Let Johnny Mo be comfortable with sending you on an 18-yard comeback route when it's 3rd and 12. Let Jared Goff be very comfortable trusting you in certain plays. Like, I know I can trust Jameson Williams. Yeah. Right now, who do we trust on 3rd down? In our minds as fans, and we think they're players, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Wherever he's at, he's like, that's the guy we trust. That's the guy's 3rd down. And then Patrick, when you get inside the red zone, that's the guy you want to touch the ball. It's Patrick, and then Amon-Ra everywhere
Laporta,
else.
I would this may sound a little hyperbolic here. I trust them all. If you threw the ball to Jameson Williams, I think he's got good hands. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown has great hands. I think Jameson Williams has good hands. I think Sam Laporta's got great hands.
Yeah.
I trust Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. You bring up John Morton, and I love what Jameson Williams.
But do you trust Jameson Williams to switch positions, to go from Z to X to A, and rotate around that offense? I don't.
Okay, well, you would know that better than anybody because you know what they're responsible for. I can't speak to that. But what I do know is the attachment or the camaraderie that has been built already between Jameson Williams and John Morton has been really impressive. Listen to what he said. Williams said about Morton, he's attacking every aspect of the game. He's real aggressive. I like that about him. I love that about him. The way he coaches, the way he calls his plays, how he attacks the game, and everything. That, to me, screams, again, I'm getting even more excited about what this team is capable of, despite some of the changes. That, to me, screams confidence from Jameson Williams and maybe a career year for him.
You can grow at your position without growing as a player. You can grow at your position like Jameson did last year. He was a better receiver last year. He had 58 catches. You saw the yards per catch. They were out. But I don't know if he necessarily grew as a player. Growing as a player, it takes a collaboration with the offensive coordinator. It takes a collaboration with the quarterback. It takes a collaboration to grow as a player, to now understand, kind of like I was talking about, understanding what is it that I can do in this offense that would achieve the most success? How can I learn this offense? What do I need to be to learn that success? That's growing as a player, and that has to come from having a coach that you like, a coach that you trust. And don't give me that, I don't got to like a coach. That's BS. You have to like a coach if you want to attain this type of success. It seems like to your point, J-Mo and he have that relationship. They're both named J-Mo. Maybe that's where you start, J-Mo and J-Mo. Yeah. But I think he's seeing somebody that likes him, somebody who wants to pour into him. And I don't know what the relationship was with Ben Johnson and J-Mo, but what you mentioned, what you named, a lot of times J-Mo wasn't available, correct?
Yeah.
So what does that do to an offensive coordinator who's trying to come up with a scheme to get you in there and, I can't use you this week because of this. I can't use you this week because of that. I have to worry about, are you going to do something throughout the course of the week to where I won't be able to use you on Sunday? So I don't know if Ben necessarily rocked with J-Mo, and maybe J-Mo got that energy, and so it's not a trust thing. J-Mo, Johnny Morton, that is, he's already started to build that bridge, and I think it's bringing Jameson into the spotlight where he won't be, 3 a.m. eating wings at Coney Island, which is not a crime, but
it's not exactly what the nutritionist is scheduling.
You'll be at
for
home
you.
at 10 o'clock watching film.
That's right.
Or sleep.
Well, this has come full circle because we had a discussion earlier where Braylon was talking about John Morton.
Caught him. I caught you.
Where you're talking about John Morton and how he handled Michael Crabtree and Scotty Anderson, right?
Ooh, I forgot about
and
Scotty Anderson.
and you, how, or a lot of different players, okay, and how he was able to deal with them, right? Jameson Williams said he's a great NFL coach. I love him. He's taught me so much just from being in his room since he got the job, and to this day, it's going to get better and better. He knows the game. I love the way he coaches. He lets players be players, and he's still coaching on top of that.
Players still like a level of individuality. Like players being players. That means you see this picture that everybody can see right now. If you're watching it, J-Mo holding his hands up, being himself. There's just a level of individuality that players have. Some players are funny. They crack little jokes at times. Maybe you shouldn't crack a joke, but because that's who they are, certain coaches let it slide and get back on track. It's just certain things, but that's the individuality part of the game. I want to be the guy I was at Alabama, but I want to sprinkle some new stuff on it and add to it with the Detroit Lions. I feel like he feels as though he can now do that. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he is definitely himself, but he is also the player that you can lean on, you can trust, and gets better and understands the game from all aspects on that side of the ball.
Yeah, love that putt.
Right.
Love it, man. It's really good. Anything else from the chat that Kool-Aid wants to get to?
The chat, they're really, really bullish on one Jameson Williams, and they want a jersey bet. They want you to make a jersey bet, Braylon. I'm seeing the people here in the chat, and one of the guys from the previous morning show, he was like, "Hey, look, Woodward Pistons." That's me in the chat. He says, "You think we can squeeze another J-Mo jersey bet with someone?" Wink, wink. And I think that's you, Bray, as it relates to Jameson Williams.
What's the J-Mo jersey bet? Explain to me.
Hey, you listen. They had last year Flannel. He went and said 1,000 yards, and then he'll go and get a J-Mo jersey.
Because he wasn't a believer.
Think he wasn't a believer. He didn't think he was going to do it. But I'm seeing people in the chat right now who do believe J-Mo is on par for stats like 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns on the season. Is there some place between maybe 1,000 and 1,300 yards you're willing to settle for? And if he gets it, you'll get that J-Mo jersey? What's the standard for you?
I can get a J-Mo jersey tomorrow. I don't have a problem with J-Mo.
Right.
I feel like the chat believes I don't believe in Jameson Williams. If KG, correct these people in the chat. Who was arguing with the person that used to sit there about J-Mo
No, big facts.
all last year? If you want to go even further back to start the season last year, who was the guy that said J-Mo was going to have 400 yards more than Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Stand on business.
You were.
I stand on business. I remember the national championship game where they were about to beat Georgia. Was the best team I've seen in the last 15 years, but he tore his ACL. I love Jameson Williams. I'm just speaking on how he can get better. I think Jameson going to have
That was the question. That's what I asked you. How's he going to get better? Right.
Jameson going to get better this year. I think he will have more yards than Amon-Ra St. Brown. I go back to that.
I was just about to say how much better, though, because I think he's capable of an all-pro season this year. And we've seen Amon-Ra get that with 1,400 and a lot of touchdowns. You say no.
Because All-Pro is different. All-Pro is not just about yards. All-Pro is about dominance. He blocks. He does all those things. But when you're talking All-Pro, you're talking about the elite of the elite. If you're All-Pro, you're damn near the best player on your team.
True, but Amon-Ra did it, and I think J-Mo with his skill
Amon-Ra
set.
St. Brown's the best player on the offense.
No, agreed. But with J-Mo's skill set.
I would disagree, but go ahead.
I'm talking about,
but
Penei Sewell, but I'm talking about to the consistency of that. Jameer Gibbs, they still didn't trust him to the end of the season.
No,
Amon-Ra has been trusted and dealt for the last 3 years.
Amen. You said Penei Sewell.
But
that
I'm
was
just
my
speaking
choice.
with the skill set that J-Mo has, he is absolutely capable of that. Arguably can be the number one receiver on this team
but
if he takes the lead.
He hasn't shown from Alabama to Detroit. Now I'm gonna regress on the point. I'm gonna push back.
Okay.
Even in Alabama when he had 15-58 and he did all those tremendous things, he's running the same route.
I hear
at
you.
Alabama. You bring him to the NFL, it's the same thing. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's an all-pro wide receiver, is doing this thing over here. You got Sam Laporta 2 years. You got this offensive line. He's finding his way. He's not doing anything in the last year that has become an all-pro.
True.
He hasn't run the routes. He hasn't made the plays.
See,
he
I love
hasn't
that
jumped over
perspective.
people.
Yeah.
He hasn't caught a pass when it's 3rd and 12 and you need to get it. He's got a broken tackle. This is all-pro stuff.
I get that, but if he's speaking this way of Johnny Moe and the new system, and he's buying into this system, you don't think that it's possible for him to maybe take that leap this year? We've already seen him take a huge leap already.
Yeah, he went to 1,000, and he's fast. Like, you got 17 games. Like, you catch 58 passes, play action, you're number one in the league. You're going to get a lot of yards when you run 4.2.
Yeah.
I think he could take that a huge step for sure. But to take that step to All-Pro, you're talking about dethroning Justin Jefferson,
right?
Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, and the list goes on of wide receivers. You're talking about dethroning some of them guys. I don't know if he's there.
No, he's not.
He's
how about
not
taking
there.
one step at a time? How about cracking the top 15?
There we go. You know what? Be better than Devontae Smith.
There you
I
go.
think he already better. I feel you, but I think he's already better.
I think so too, but not consistently. You got to go out there and do it. Devontae Smith has the most yards in playoff history for the Eagles already.
Right.
I wouldn't go that far with Devontae Smith. I would say this to your point though, when you have a player coming out and talking this way, and I don't mean all the love that he's given to John Morton. I mean saying I'm polishing my routes. I'm running different routes.
Yeah.
I'm running more routes.
Conversation.
That's the stuff that Braylon's referring to, and I think it's got great perspective.
Absolutely.
Because athletes, I say this all the time, it's hard to impress him.
Yeah.
All right?
As it should be.
You and I running down Woodward catching a pass is not going to impress you.
Of course.
Depends on how many cars you got. Depends on how many cars you got.
If I'm able to maneuver between that, SUV from Les Stanford and another one. But no, what I'm saying is if he's taking the approach that he wants to be different, like Braylon was saying, he instead of running the same routes all the time, that's making him a more complete receiver.
Right.
I would like to see Jameson Williams grade sheet game by game from last year and the year before versus this year, because that's where you see how people get better. And what I mean by that, after each game, coaches grade every play that you went to and they give you a score, right? All pro wide receivers or all pro players, they're scoring 90 and up each game. This means I could depend on you to be everywhere you're supposed to be lined up. You run all your routes at the right depth. You get into the windows that you're supposed to get into. So if you're running a dig route, which is 15 breaking in, if it's covered 2, don't go break in 15 and fly across like it's man coverage, because guess what's going to happen? You're going to cause Jared Goff to throw an interception, which we don't want him to do. So you got to sit in that space because it's covered 2, and that's to protect the window. Those are the things. I want to see that grade sheet this year, because I guarantee you his sheets from before were probably 75%, 74%, 71, maybe an 85.
What was the highest you ever got? What was the lowest you ever received?
148.
Wow.
48, because my receivers coach was a dick, but
yeah, sure. Blame the receiver.
Hey, but Bray, I do got a question for you, man. When
40,
a wide
first of all,
receiver,
48. I ain't never scored 48.
48 is low.
Trigonometry.
I was gonna say, Bray, when a wide receiver.
You almost had a slip.
Miss Faison, I'm sorry.
Trying, dog.
Yeah, you almost had a
Let
slip.
me compose myself.
That's funny.
I got to stop looking at Shep. He's over there cracking me up, dog. He's on the screens too here in the beaming. Let me cover up Shep. No, look. When you put yourself on the map and you take the leap that Jameson Williams does, because we're talking about what you want to see him do this year, what does that do for the defense? Like, now all of a sudden, is he popping up on more scouting reports, or was he somebody that was already factored in to a certain degree? Because last year, we did see him get a little bit better at going across the middle and such. And I do wonder, from your NFL perspective, what does this mean for Jameson Williams going into this season? Because I do believe now, more than ever, he's going to have to be getting better at some of those small things, at some of those tweaks at the route running and getting more crisp and clean now.
Yeah, no. If Jameson Williams takes the leap that, even if he takes the leap in the middle of what KG and I think, it makes Johnny Morton's job easy. Like, not easier. It makes it easy. Because the offensive line is concerned right now. When you got a guy 4'2" that knows where the hell he's supposed to go, he gets open a little faster, which means now, to your point, Kool-Aid, here comes road coverage. Here comes the safety cheating on the side. Here comes the DB over here. Here comes the linebacker shading a little to that side, which means now all this information over here is open. Now Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's already an all-pro, now he has room to wiggle with and play with. Oh, you also told me Jahmyr Gibbs wants to catch out of slot and angle routes. Makes it fast to get the ball in his hands. So you don't have to worry about this blitz and then Dave Montgomery. So if he can be that player to take that step that he's talking about, polished routes, getting his depth, blocking when you're supposed to, just diving to all that this is, it gets scary If I'm being honest, it gets scary.
Yeah, with this talent,
It gets scary.
Let's hope it's really scary for opposing defenses. Nothing scary about BlackRock, though. Nothing but good food there, man. Really good food.
Good steak.
Hey, wait, even if you cook your own steak, nothing scary about it?
Nothing scary.
755
Unless you're
degrees.
cooking it to well done.
No hockey pucks around here, right?
If you want to burn your steak, cook it 755 now, but it's 755 degrees. It is fire. But we're not here to talk about that. They also have giveaways, and that's what we want to go to. 8 weeks of giveaways. You see that steak right there sizzling? You get an opportunity if you scan this QR code above my hair to win that for a year. For a year. 1 meal every month. That's 12 meals. Hey, look, that's going to be fire. Scan that QR code if you want to get in on that. Tigers tickets are gone, but we do have more. The Big Ten opener, 4 tickets. 4 tickets, September 14th, which is coming up. Want to get you involved in that. You see the shirt I'm rocking, so you know I'll be in the mix and be in the building as well. Come on now. BlackRock wants to take care of you, so let them.
Les Stanford wants to take care of you, too. Buick and GMC, they got some great offers for everybody. You get a 2025 Hummer EV SUT lease special, $599 a month plus tax. That's it. Don't forget about the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation lease special. That is only $169 a month. What are you waiting for? Get to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory, all the colors you want, great interiors, great looking out exteriors for all those cars, SUVs, trucks, you name it. They've got it. Les Stanford, Buick, and GMC. For all these specials, go to lesstanford.com.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Armani and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone! The boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Get your fitness on this summer at Planet Fitness. Teens, you work out for free. 14 and 19, we got you guys covered all summer. It's a part of high school summer pass, and it's good to get out of the house. Mental health, I talk about it all the time. It is very important. It always has been, but more than ever, we got to get you guys out of the house. Got to get you away from the screens. Got to get you out of your routine. Do something different. What better place to do it than Planet Fitness, where there is no judgment, home of the judgment-free zone. So come on down. Free. I got to keep repeating that until you get it. It is free. And if you're not 14 and 19, come to the gym. You know what time it is. Get in shape. Feel great. Trainers with every membership. And then the gyms are squeaky clean. So come on down, man. You know where I'm at. Always in the morning. Look to see you there.
Turn my mic on first. And after the gym, you know we are watching the best damn digital sports network there is in the state of Michigan. And of course, that's us here at Woodward Sports. But if you want to stay connected with us on all social platforms, you can do that, man. Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, of course, Twitch, and TikTok for the latest sports news, live updates, and behind-the-scenes action. Don't miss out. Hit that follow button now and be part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network. That is Woodward Sports.
#1 network. You heard it right.
If I asked you the question of which team needs to upgrade its roster more than any other in this market, what would it be?
In the NFL?
No.
Oh, in Detroit.
In Detroit.
Ooh, that's tough. A lot of people would say Red Wings right now.
Red Wings.
I would say Wings first.
Wings? Yeah, you can make an argument for the Tigers for sure, and the Pistons. But Wings and Tigers the most.
Wings and Tigers the most.
Yeah.
The team with 60 wins that leads its division?
I know, man, but I've said this from the beginning of the year. They were always an incomplete roster. They've played above their heads, sure. You got a career year from Zach McKinstry and Javi Baez's rose from the dead. You had a lot of things go right. Torkelson, you had a lot of things go right this year with the Tigers. But this is far from a complete roster. I think most people would agree.
I'd say.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that it's the Tigers over the Pistons with their roster.
I was going to say, I want to see the Pistons.
I say Wings Pistons. First of all, Red Wings haven't won a playoff game. How long?
They've been in the playoffs for 9 years.
I think the Pistons are on track to me because, I mean, yes, you did lose a little bit this free agency period, but for the pivot that Trajan had to make, you replace Beasley with Duncan Robinson. That kind of cancels each other out. Karis LeVert is a better bench piece than what you had before. I think they're on track. Could they have added a little more? Sure, but I think they're on track.
The Duncan Robinson thing, look, I love Duncan Robinson as a University of Michigan guy. Respect to all that. But Duncan Robinson ain't hit a shot since he got paid. Ain't hit a shot since he got paid. Now, he's a better...
He all-time heat shooter.
Wait a minute. You said Karis LeVert is a better bench player than they got. How do you know he's not a starter?
If you think about
he's not as good a starter as Tim Hardaway.
He'll be starting.
You think he's starting?
Yeah.
Well, there's an argument. I don't know if
he can get to the cup, but now he's a better.
Jaden Ivey's coming back. He's going to start.
I know he's coming back, but that's not the same position. Who are the starters? If you had the starters right now,
Cade, Ivey. Cade, Ivey, Asar. The 4th spot is the tough one. You will still start Tobias at this point. And Durham.
Okay. I don't look at 4s anymore, for example. I used to look at that in basketball. I don't look at it any longer.
Yeah.
Because look at Golden State's starting lineup.
Right.
It's 3 guards and 2 forwards.
They're a unique situation, clearly.
I think there's a lot of unique.
I actually do feel the Pistons have to do a little bit more. You know, when you look at the fact that when the offseason started, if everybody just kind of laid into their dysfunction, cool. But you saw teams go and say, you know what? Boston Celtics didn't want to just sit idly by. Orlando Magic didn't want to sit idly by. You saw the teams go out there and actually try and do things to bolster themselves, and that's why I do believe.
Well, Orlando did. Boston did.
Major move.
Boston didn't.
Well, they did a few little things, so I don't think that they're going to be.
They've subtracted
this year. I don't.
They've subtracted. I don't think they've necessarily added. I think Orlando has. KG brings up something pretty interesting. Then I want to dive back into football. He said, the Tigers have played above their heads. I think I get a lot of that when I talk to fans and I talk to people out there because they don't think there's anybody on this team who is quote unquote a superstar or a star player.
Well, I mean, Tarek Skubal, but that's it.
Well, so Riley Green's 2 All-Stars doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. I wouldn't say that, but he's a good to great player. I wouldn't call him elite at this point.
He's the best left fielder in baseball.
Well, I mean, in terms of the AO, he's in the top 3. He's in the mix.
He won the Fielding Bible a year ago.
Yeah.
He should have been a Gold Glover and an All-Star a year ago.
I hear you.
So the only thing I would ask you, and then we'll move back to Lions.
Is that biasness because Tigers are your team?
No, it's not. It's not a bias. It's not a bias. I love Riley Green. So people could understand why there might be some bias there, but I can separate the two.
Okay, fair.
There is no bias here.
Just had to ask a question.
I appreciate it. The Yankees, who are oftentimes viewed as a standard in the American League, which sometimes make me throw up in my mouth.
Yeah, it's horrible.
They have a superstar in Aaron Judge.
Yes.
Who else do they have?
Not a lot.
A struggling Anthony Volpe,
Right.
an inconsistent Chaz Chisholm.
Maybe you want Ben Rice? Do you want Ben Rice?
No, not at all.
Okay. So I think sometimes you got to be careful with that.
But would you?
I would
call
love
him
to have a
elite?
Phillies.
Bellinger?
I think the Phillies.
Yeah.
I love the Phillies lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Mets lineup. Obviously, the Dodgers lineup too.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, just about every team except for a few in the National League, but especially in the American League, there's a lot of lineups you look at and you're like, that's incomplete.
Right.
There's not many who have complete lineups.
That's true. That's
Okay.
true. But for the Tigers specific situation, are they? I'm trying to think of how to word this. Are they so incomplete that it would hinder them from winning a championship at this point?
Can they overcome it? Is what you're asking?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really hard to do that if you don't pick something up at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
I don't think people feel that way about the Tigers in terms of having a player like that until they get a player, not pitcher, that has the same impact that Terry Scuba has.
Exactly.
Like, they don't have that player, like you mentioned, Judge, like you mentioned some of these players like Bryce Harper or whatever.
Right.
That's
they
what
don't
it
have,
is.
even for however good Riley Green has been the last
You're
3
right.
years, he doesn't have that name nationally. So Tigers fans are still like, Riley Green, but
Right.
until you see it on ESPN
Yeah.
or the show on Sunday consistently, like Scooble, you see Scooble everywhere.
Yeah.
Then I think that's when you feel confident in your team, or that's when they will feel confident.
Because he's all around. Like in terms of Riley Green, like you said, elite glove. We already know that. But in terms of offense, he's good. The numbers are there. Very, very streaky at times. And, his strikeout rate is insane this year. I would never take anything away from him, but I wouldn't call him elite.
There's somebody that we
call
haven't
him
mentioned in a while. It's Carps.
he's
Kerry
on
Carpenter.
rehab
If he
stand.
comes back, that'll be a big help.
Yeah.
Yeah. On one
That's
side of
really,
the plate.
quite honestly, his last game was, I think, June 29th, and they really went into a tailspin at that time. They weren't winning a ton just before that, but they were winning and losing. This is a case where you're seeing a lot more losing, so I think that would be a big plus. The last thing I would ask you about this, though, when we look, we need stars. I don't know how many people believe in the Brewers. Brewers have the most wins in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Who's their best player?
It's hard to name.
That's because you don't know him.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Sal Frelick?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christian Yelich is damaged goods. So like,
But that's the name. I don't know.
the name.
Yeah, that's the only
leads in
name
homers,
you would
but yeah,
pull
that's-
from there.
That's the only name that you pull from, unless you know William Contreras. Okay,
yeah, Willie Contreras.
Yeah. So anyway, I find it interesting. Sometimes those side conversations are really fun to have. The Lions. We've talked about the offensive line a little bit. Graham Glasgow said something really interesting earlier in the week. How happy he was that he's back at his natural position, right guard. He was forced to left guard last year because they brought in Kevin Zeitler, who's an absolute stud.
Yeah.
All right. He's an All-Pro at the right guard position. Glasgow wants to move back to right guard, but just the other day, Tate Ratledge was playing guard, and Glasgow was at center. How at this stage right now, and I know we've got a ways to go before the first preseason game, which is 6 days away, how important is it to define roles for players, especially offensive linemen, and what's the difference between right guard and left guard for a guy like Graham Glasgow?
You want to get this settled quickly and fast. Look, you already lost one of the best centers in the NFL in the last 25 years, essentially, in Frank Ragnow. You lost him. You got to find who that center is going to be, because the most important thing in football on offense is the center quarterback exchange. And we do understand what was the knock on Jared Goff, and it did show up his first year and a half here. Fumbles.
Right.
Fumbles.
Small hands.
Small hands, the line of scrimmage. It took him, Frank Ragnow was one of the best doing it, to get comfortable. He's been very comfortable. Now you're rotating him back between a rookie and Glasgow and rookie and figuring out the next guy. You got to get that going. They got to find the center, who's going to be the center, so Jared Goff can lock into that. Now, in terms of moving the rest of them around, you also got to do that, because the consistency of knowing who's to your left and knowing or who's to your right, that's when you get the offense down. That's when I'm Panay Sewell, and I know to my left is Graham Glasgow. I don't even have to look at him. I don't even have to talk to him. I don't even have to communicate. Or we already know how to communicate. Like, that's when you get the best version of that side. The moving back and forth, and this looks good for a minute, it makes it very inconsistent, and it's hard to have that. It's hard to start the season that way, trying to figure it out. So you got to get that established as fast as you can. I wish it would be already figured out, but you needed pass.
That's what I was going to ask you.
That
You know, we got
consistency
the
is tough.
audio from Dan Campbell talking about it right now. If you guys wanted to
Sure, fire
play
away.
that.
And then,
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to get the video up, and then we'll play it right after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the left guard, right guard, in terms of those positions, left guard, you're more athletic, you're faster, you're better lateral because of all the pulling. The majority of the quarterbacks in the NFL are right-handed quarterbacks. Yeah. So the strength is the left side. So the left guard, he has to be able to move. He's got to be a guy that's fast, got to be a guy that's lateral, got to be a guy that can slip and get up out of there. He's probably your most agile guy on the offensive line.
Love that.
Facts. The right guard, he's stout, i.e. Kevin Zeitler.
Yeah.
When Kevin Zeitler grabs you, where are you going?
Nowhere.
When Kevin Zeitler grabs you, where are you going?
Wherever he wants you to.
That's the difference between left and right. From Graham Glasgow, he's talking about he's glad he's happy he's back on the right. Graham's not a guy that moves like that. He's not. He struggles.
That's awesome.
100%. He
That
struggles
is
with the
awesome.
lateral move. He struggles with pulling at times. He's more comfortable stout, and that's what right guards are. They're the stout ones because the NFL is, I want to say, 80% right-handed quarterback.
Folks, see?
Yeah.
Where else are you getting that?
Not a lot of places.
I'm not.
Not a lot of places.
You're not getting it anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. When somebody tells you that he wants to play right guard because he doesn't want to pull, we all know the quarterback. Most of the quarterbacks are right-handed.
Yeah.
How many think of it with the guard pulling that way?
They don't.
And more of. That's great insight, man.
No,
Thank you
absolutely.
for that. Now I can use that. See, you talked earlier about having 42 years of experience.
Yeah.
And you're going to share that. I can't wait till somebody brings that stuff up.
Yeah, you got another.
Because I'm just going to say, I was talking with Braylon Edwards the other day, and God damn, did he make a lot of sense.
Another notch in the tool belt. But I wanted to pick y'all brains on this because I look at it a little bit differently. To me,
go ahead, Sal Freelick. Go ahead.
They already have a default option in Graham Glasgow that they know, okay, he's a veteran. He's done it before in this system. We can send him out here during the season if Tate Ratledge doesn't live.
Oh, you're saying it's center. You're saying it's center.
Yeah, at center.
Yeah.
So we already know Graham, he can have it covered, worst case scenario. I really think that this coaching staff, they really want Tate to take that job out of camp. Because
which one? The center?
The center job.
He's going to start at one of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Center,
but I think they want Tate at center. When you look at some of the comments and the tone of Dan Campbell when he speaks about this, when he's just like, we're switching them back and forth. We're just trying to see what we has, but we're really comfortable with Graham. I think that means, okay, we have our default option, in case Tate can't win the job, it's Graham's job to lose. But as of right now, I think they're just trying to see what they have in Tate.
Yeah, I don't think there's any job to lose. I think he's taking it.
In that case, I hate that because that
so do
reminds
I.
me what the University of Michigan always does. Sorry, I love my institution. You know what it is. I wear it proudly on my heart and on my sleeve. How many times are you going to hear, is it this quarterback or this quarterback? We got to see in training camp whose quarterback wants to start. You can't build any rhythm. If you know Graham Glasgow is your best right guard and he's told you, look, I like to be here, then don't go back and forth. You let Tate Ratledge from the time he got to the Detroit Lions in minicamp,
take as
in
many
spring
snaps.
ball, as many snaps as he can. You start training camp. This is the guy. Because just like you said, well, he knows he can play center. Then if you need him in September, he will rotate before the season starts.
Well, I would offer this too. Not that you should be thinking about it.
I don't like the back and forth.
I don't either. But next year, if Graham Glasgow's not here, Tate Ratledge is going to be a mainstay, and you would love to have him stay at the same position. Like Sewell, hopefully like Christian Mahogany. Who knows about Taylor Decker and his age and his health? But overall, wouldn't you want to plan for something like that?
True, but why not give him the versatility that a Graham Glasgow has, who has played center and guard in this league?
That's a good point.
The Lions love versatility. That is the key thing in this organization.
You're right. Everybody, it seems like every
I don't like that jack of all trades,
team.
master
I
of
know.
none, though.
I hear you.
I do too. Same with you. The whole entire sports world loves the versatility. Look at baseball. Well, you can play anywhere, right? I like everyday position players in baseball. I hear people all the time. I like that he can play all over. It's the same thing with offensive linemen. It's the exact same thing. I remember when they drafted Riley Reif.
Yeah.
And they said, well, he can play guard or tackle. Question in the back. Why don't you just draft the best tackle?
Yeah.
Why don't you just draft the best guard?
Yeah.
Right? Why don't you just draft David DeCastro? He's a great guard. Plug and play, leave him there.
True.
Why do you have to have the versatility? Why is it so damn important? Basketball's the same way, KG.
That's true, but
he can swing.
I'll tell you why you need the versatility for injuries.
Of course. Of course you do. But we're talking about every day. We want, if you're going to build this stuff, you're going to want to build. To Braylon's point, how many snaps does he need? As many as he can get. When he's never played the position, he's never done that at Georgia.
Yeah.
So if he's never played it, put him there and have him snap to every single quarterback you possibly can.
Also, too, you look at the schedule, and we've talked about that, and people can say, oh, the schedule doesn't matter, the Lions are great, blah, blah, blah. BS, it does.
It matters.
Those first 6 games are tough.
Yeah.
You don't want to have things that are unnecessary affect the game.
Yeah.
You don't need to have Tate Rowledge in there if you don't trust him.
Mm-hmm.
And now he fumbles a snap, or there's a bad quarterback center exchange on a 3rd down against the Chiefs, against the Ravens.
I hear you.
Against insert team, the Buccaneers, hell. Like, those are things that hurt the game early on in the year. You don't need those type of things to happen. So all you do, you prepare. And the best you can do is get Tate Rowledge in there early and often from the start until the start of the season. All the back and forth, that's where you get – now it's Jared Goff. Because keep in mind, too, the back and forth, you guys are just thinking about Jared – you're just thinking about Tate Rowledge and Glasgow and how comfortable they are. Well, think about Jared Goff, who's getting used to a 3rd center.
Right. No, that's true.
He's getting used to a 3rd center, so, like, he has some, getting used to doing some chemistry issues as well.
That could be as important as getting used to a new coordinator.
Hell yeah.
Kool-Aid, you're going to say something?
Yeah, no, I know we got that audio from Dan Campbell as well, just to get his perspective on it, because some people are freaking out about it, whereas for me personally, I feel like we hear this every camp, and I can't wait to hear your perspective on Dan Campbell's comments about that offensive line, trying different combinations to see what works.
Okay.
Dan Campbell here at training camp.
We saw the flipping of Tate and Graham yesterday. What went into that decision? Is that something you're going to kind of stick with, or is it going to be more of a day-to-day flip-flop?
Well, I guess in training camp it's like dog years, right? So 3 days ends up really one day is like 3 days, I guess. No, just, when you get the day off, you have the ability to kind of sit back, look at it all, think about it, and then it's like, what, let's just go ahead and throw Graham back in there at center and get Tate some of these guard reps. We're still going to work him at center, but let's go ahead and do this and see what this looks like for a little bit. We go into pads. And so, like I say, we're just, we're seeing what we can find. What's the best combination? Who's going to play best where? And so Tate will get some center reps. He can go back inside on some stuff.
That's what it's about. It's about reps. It's about getting guys different looks just in case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's fine. It's definitely fine to get those reps. Just make sure that Tate Rowledge is taking the first team reps. Like, if you want to get him reps, that's fine. You don't need to take reps at right guard with the first team. Yeah. You don't. He doesn't need to take with the first team, because at the end of the day, you're trying to get those reps at guard. Those center reps, those are the most important ones. He has to be taking those first team reps.
Yeah.
So if you want to do both, that's fine. Make sure he's taking those first team reps with number 16.
When you look at him, I mean, where do you envision him, build wise, body wise? Where do you envision him? Center. He
looks like a center.
Yeah.
Like, he has his shoulders slope a certain way. His build is thick around in here. Like, he looks like a more in shape, taller Hank Fraley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, more in shape, taller Hank Fraley. I know Hank's a little. It doesn't look like it now, but Hank was a hell of a player when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles and came over to us. But he's got a taller build like Hank Fraley. He looks like a center to me.
Before we get to the mailbag, we do the mailbag at the end of our show every single Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 here on the Braylon Edwards Show. Quick 2 hours. You had something before the show that you brought up that I thought was really cool and really got us thinking a little bit. Share that with the audience, will you?
Way to bring that back. Look, this is going to be a fun one for you guys out there. Michael Weary, I teased it. Here it is. Which Detroit sports team would you have wished or wanted to have closed the deal? Now, I know the answer is all of them, but which particular one that you went? So here's the example. Yeah. Was it the 05 Pistons?
Yes.
Was it the 09 Red Wings? Was it the 13 Detroit Tigers? Was it the 06 Tigers? Was it the 87 Pistons? There's a bunch of these type things. Was it the 95 Red Wings? By the way, it's the first time I cried over a sporting event. No BS. It still hurts. But anyway, which one is yours? I went earlier and I said it was the 13 Tigers. I know they lost in the ALCS and it wasn't the World Series, but if they beat Boston, they go on, they win that World Series, and it gives them something to hang their hats on for that stretch that was 06-14. The fact that we did not win a World Series in that frame of the players that we had, how many opportunities that we had. I was looking at the highest paid MLB players of all time. Don't you know that particular stretch of Detroit, they had 4 players in the top 10 of all times. Scherzer was in there. Cone was in there, who came to us in 13, 14. Cone was in there. Verlander was in there. Miggy was in there. They have 4 guys in the top paid MLB players of all time. They all played on the same team and have nothing to show for it. Sheesh. So for me, that 13, hell, 12, they wouldn't have beat the Giants. I know you're like, well,
no,
what
Giants,
about 12?
Yeah, the Giants.
They wouldn't have beat Lincecum and the Giants in 12. But that 13 team was better than everyone else. It's that bullpen.
They were actually really good the following year in 2014. They won 90
Orioles,
games.
Right?
They lost to
Didn't
Nelson Cruz and the Orioles. Yeah.
Didn't they have to beat the Brewers to get in, or the at the end of the season they had to win that one-game playoff to get in? It was the Royals. It was them and the Royals, and then they ended up losing to the Orioles. But yes, for me it's 13. What about you, Shep?
Well, I'm a little bit old school. So you brought up a couple of different Red Wings, which I think was really good. You could argue 96 was more frustrating than 95, where it was a lockout year. And I remember covering the Stanley Cup Finals, Detroit, New Jersey. New Jersey swept them. I'll never forget, I'm in the bowels of Joe Louis Arena. I'm standing next to 2 New York writers who said, this series isn't coming back.
Damn.
And like an idiot, I looked at him. I said, I'll guarantee you it's coming back.
Yeah.
And it didn't come back.
Your fandom showed a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, my Detroit side of me kind of came out of me. The 96 Wings set the NHL record. It's since been broken by Boston. Set the NHL record for most points and wins. And they lost to Colorado in the Western Conference Finals. So that was a really tough one. But for me, it's the 87 Tigers. The 87 Tigers, where they beat Toronto 1-0 on the Frank Tanana gem at the end of the year at Tiger Stadium. And then, knowing back then there were only 2 divisions, the American League East and the American League West, and they met Minnesota, and Minnesota had home field advantage. And I thought it was an absolute farce because baseball doesn't do many things right. And what did they do? Baseball would alternate the East and the West who had home field instead of who had the best record.
Yeah.
Tigers had the best record, and Minnesota got home field. And Minnesota beat Detroit in the ALCS, and then the Twins, to their credit, actually went on to win the World Series. But that 1987 team that won 98 games.
Wow.
Okay? So we talk about 13 and 12, and I get all that. They won 98 games.
That's crazy.
Okay? And by the way, you weren't getting a lot of teams into the playoffs then.
Yeah.
There were 2. You in the East, you in the West. This wasn't made for television. You had 2 teams reach the playoffs back then, and the Tigers in 1987, winning 98 games, lost to the damn Minnesota Twins, and a lot of it because they started at the garbage dome at the Metrodome in Minnesota.
Kirby Puckett.
So Frank Viola and all that crap. That was it. Bert Blyleven and Frank Viola beat him. So I would say 87 probably bothers me as much as anything.
You got some support in the chat. Randall Smalls in the chat. He says it's a 1987 Tigers for him.
Yeah.
He said that just before you started talking, as soon as you did, he put the LOL at Shep.
Okay.
Now how many leftovers from the 84 team was on that 87 team?
Oh, quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a few. Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely got to be the 05 Pistons, man. After seeing them win in 04, I got all the bragging rights I needed going out to the East Coast for my freshman year in college. So I got to see them win with Pops, win away bragging, Detroit. We had another year, man, where the Detroit Pistons were just a juggernaut defensively. And when they got to the finals, me and my Pops, we would watch the home games at the Palace. We watched the road games at Shane Park. I don't know if people remember that when they had the games going on there. Shout out to Aretha Franklin Amphitheater now. But you know, it was epic, man. Saw every single game, was on the edge of my seat, and when they lost that one, it felt like something got taken from them. Like it was in their hands from Sheed to even the last game. They were up, and then it just seemed like I still to this day say that the referees swallowed their whistles, man. And if not, we got the Detroit Pistons hoisting.
I was there.
You don't
I was there
in the corner.
I was at the game. what's also so crazy about that whole 9 yards is they lose, and now the conversation since was we got rid of Corliss, we bought in McDice, and then we get rid of Memo. Memo got paid.
Memo.
Yeah.
But they if they would have won that game, if it's a fifth, I get that part. But they win that game, we're not having that conversation about scoreless Williams.
True.
As well as Memo to Kerr. But you lose, and now it's like, well, if they had
So 05, it brings up a really good point, and I understand it because they lost in the finals. The next year, though, they set the franchise record for victories.
They did, and they
had 64 wins. Like that's more than any other team, even champions, had in history. And that's why I bring this up because of I talk about the 96 Wings, who had the most wins in franchise history and league history.
Yeah.
That was the same year the Bulls did it. Like, they had 70 and the Bulls had 72?
Who's that?
The Wings.
Oh, the Wings, no. I don't think they had 72. They had 60-some-odd wings.
Pistons, Bulls had 72.
Yeah. And then Golden State, I believe, broke that.
73.
And it wasn't 06 when the emergence of LeBron and him.
Yeah, they lost. They lost to the frickin'
28
in the finals, and
29
people at the Palace were actually cheering LeBron James.
They lost to the King.
Yeah. Just he'll tell you that.
Yeah.
How about you?
He was the king that night for sure. But shout out to
Booby Gibson.
I got a
Don't be trying to steal Booby Gibson's credit.
I've only been mad at Tayshaun Prince once. I've only ever been mad at Tayshaun Prince once. Like LeBron James, you can say what you want to about him. That particular stretch, especially that last minute of the game. But I was mad. He came down 3 with like 32 seconds left. I'm like, oh, it takes some time. He pulled from damn near half court.
Yeah.
Made it. Then Pistons come down. Antonio McDice, he gets fouled, makes both free throws. LeBron comes down, fast break. Tayshaun's right there. Tayshaun, first and only time I've ever seen him, defensive stopper, by the way. Hell of a defensive player at that time.
Yep.
Kind of turned.
He made a business decision.
And LeBron was like,
I remember
got
that
him.
play.
You ain't going no part to young Bron, man.
But shoot, at that point, you're a champion. Just jump into him. He ain't making free throws.
He made a business decision.
Right. Like, he ain't making free throws.
Nah, I feel you. There's a lot of controversy
KG,
around
you
05.
remember that, man. It's
No,
starting to
I
make my blood
I
boil.
do, but LeBron is one of my favorite players ever.
I'm not hating on LeBron.
Why did I even bring this up? If it was going to be a LeBron
I hated to
discussion.
see him dismantle my Pistons,
God.
but there's just a lot of
bothered.
theories around 05 because, of course, the Carmelo Anthony argument. If they had Carmelo, would they have got the second chip? The whole bit. But that was going to be my original answer, 05, but I think I got to go more current, man, because this heartbreak it really don't sit right with me, man. And it's the 2023 Lions. The NFC Championship game in which you were up 17 points and arguably would have been up another 7 if Dan Campbell could have got it the way he wanted it at the end of the half. But for them to have a 17-point lead in San Francisco, everything in front of you, I'm literally having dreams at halftime. Like, I'm happy as a pig, and you know what? We're actually going to do it. We're actually going to the Super Bowl. I can't believe this.
I was on the phone with TSA.
You were making plans.
I was. Everybody was. Like, it was nuts.
I was going.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
The tickets was the easy thing.
At
the hotel and the flight was the issue.
Hey, listen, I try
halftime,
as much as possible not to get too caught up in a moment, but at halftime, I literally looked around at people and I said, holy, you know what?
Yeah.
They're going to the Super Bowl, man. This is unbelievable.
They're going to do it.
I couldn't believe it.
And then in typical Lions
that's
fashion.
a really good point.
In typical Lions fashion, now I'm not saying it's SOL, but in typical Lions luck fashion, from the time of the Josh Reynolds drop, it was just a series of unfortunate events. The Jahmyr Gibbs fumble, I always forget his name, Kendall Vildor. The Kendall Vildor bouncing of the helmet to Brandon Ayuk. It was just, it was insane.
Stop. If you give any more, you're going to be in SOL territory.
I swear, bro. But that shit hurts my heart to this day.
I'm with you on that.
The player that I was like, all right, it's over for the Lions. When I saw Juwan Jennings make those 2 catches, I was like, it's not going to. Juwan Jennings catches were the ones where I was like, they're not going to be able to do it today.
That's when you called the airlines and said cancel the ticket.
When you get the third string, receiver jumping over people catching with one hand in the middle of the field on 3rd and 15. Now you got Brock Purdy rolling out like he's the reincarnation of Steve Young.
Yes.
I was like, it's.
That was the toughest 60 yards rushing I've ever incurred as a Lions fan by my man.
Those are all really good ones, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we could pick a lot. That's a great topic. I wish we had a little bit longer with it. I probably should have saved it till Monday to ask you about it, but that's a great topic.
It's a treat.
And you know why? Because there's no wrong answer.
You know what we can do? We'll bring it back Thursday because guess what's coming back? It's top 10 Thursday.
Hey.
Throwing that out. This top 10
A break specialty right there. Looking forward to
So
that.
we bring it back. And I'll just list my top 10, and then we can conversate about all of them.
That'll be good
We'll
stuff.
have some good ones on there.
All right, let's get to the mailbag before we get out of here on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, we have a couple more super chats that I want to get to. Michael says, hey, with this just that much more closer to 100 likes on the chat. He says, chat, let's go.
Damn right.
But there's a big super chat here, man, from Michael in the chat. I'm trying to get the full name for Michael here because it's not Michael Weary. It's a different one from our chat. He sends in a $50 super
Whoa.
chat.
Hey-o.
50 piece. He says he wants to wish his mom in heaven a happy birthday. And rest in peace, man. She was a huge Tigers fan whose favorite players were Tom Brookins, Lance Parrish, and Miguel Cabrera. She'd be concerned but wouldn't panic until they're in second place. Happy birthday, Peggy DeVries. I should have known.
Happy
Michael
birthday.
DeVries.
Hey, how about
Shout out
that?
to you,
Tom
Michael, and happy
Brooktrout, that's
birthday.
awesome.
Happy birthday, first and foremost, and rest in peace.
Yes.
And I would argue with her that Lance Parrish should be, you could make the argument he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely.
You could.
I agree.
You know,
Him and Sweet Lou. What are we waiting
well,
on?
Sweet Lou, absolutely. You could argue
Criminal.
Mickey Lolich too. Mickey
Yeah.
Lolich too. But Lance Parrish for sure. I mean, when he retired, he was fourth among all-time catchers in home runs.
Yeah.
He has better offensive numbers. Okay, 3-time All-Star, 6-time Silver Slugger, 5-time Gold, 6-time Gold Glove. He's got better numbers than a lot of catchers in the Hall of Fame. There are 18 catchers in the Hall of Fame. He's got better numbers than a lot of them.
I guarantee you one of them will get in the Hall of Fame if the Tigers keep up this pace. Because what happens in today's day and age, and I know that's the hardest one to get into, that is Cooperstown. But it's recency bias, and it's what goes on at the time. When your team is vibrant, I've seen this in basketball, I've seen this in football, I've seen this in hockey. Like the guys that are important. Now, Tigers, second place in the AL. If they continue this for a little while, Sweet Lou can get in. Lance Parrish can get in.
I don't think there's enough smart enough people to get him in, number one.
Thank you.
And number two, I don't think the organization does a good enough job of promoting their players. They need to promote their greats.
That's a good point.
Okay? Alan Trammell shouldn't have taken that long, shouldn't have taken Jack Morris that long. And don't give me this, it would have been the highest ERA in the – who's got the highest ERA before Jack Morris? Anybody know?
I don't.
Of course you don't,
exactly.
because it's never talked about red roughing. But anyway, besides that, you should be lobbying for Lou Whitaker. You should make a stand.
Yeah, I swear.
And it should be Lou Whitaker, and it should be Lance Parrish.
Let's go.
Gary Carter's in. Lance Parrish has very good numbers, not as good as average. He's got over 1,000 RBIs. He's got 324 home runs.
Wow.
Okay, close to Gary Carter.
Yeah.
Gary Carter hit that home run.
Lance Parrish hit it off Goose Gossage in the World Series too, man.
Big
Fair.
moment.
Let me shut up.
Big moment.
Side note: if you're gonna lobby this hard or try to get the Tigers to lobby this hard, I need to hire you in the space. Can you lobby that to University of Michigan to get my ass in NCAA College Hall of Fame?
Hell yeah.
How are you not in?
Wait, what?
That I should have already been in.
Yeah.
But that does bother me. I mean, schools. I used to, when I had a Heisman vote, I used to get all this stuff from schools about why you should vote for our guy.
Yeah.
If you think your guy should be in the College Football Hall of Fame, you should be telling writers, don't forget about him. This is what he's done. And I've never felt certain teams do that well enough. That's why I've said the Tigers should do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Lou Whitaker's our guy. Lou Whitaker's got great numbers. Lou Whitaker should be in the Hall of Fame.
Without a doubt.
What number did Lou wear?
Yeah. Same number as my partner. Oh, and that's a good way to say goodbye. We'll be back with you on Monday on the Braylon Edwards Show, 2 to 4, Monday through Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
God bless.
Thanks a lot for watching, and thanks a lot for following us on all our social media channels and in the chat. It makes our day. Have a great weekend.
ELE. Everybody love everybody.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.